is Grace Kumapakima. I am a child and a grandchild too. Someday I will grow up to be a woman and a mother too. All children are vulnerable, be it rich, poor, black, or white. We as children need your protections at all times. Stop stigmatizing us by raping us. Sex is not for children. Stay away from us. We have the right to a healthy and happy life. We have the right to move and play freely even if our parents or guardians are not around. We as girls, children say a big no to gender-based violence.
Let us stop the abuse against our children, girls and boys. Rape is evil. It is a crime. Don't hesitate to call the police whenever there's a situation. A message from the Liberian Women Advocacy Network International, Lawani.
Guy, it's good to see you today. Today is Wednesday, the 11th, 9/11. You all remember this day. Firstly, kind of not too well today. I kind of took up my wisdom teeth, tooth, so I'm still in a little pain. But once the guys come on, I will go back and take some rest. But as you may recall, today is 9/11. Uh, you remember this fateful day in the U.S. when the terrorists bombed the World Trade Center and killed over 2,000 people. I remember I was living in Georgia at the time at Mercer University in Macon, Georgia. I was in my dorm room. I actually had my book in my hand, getting ready to go to class when I saw the plane coming, and I thought it was some movie or something was going on. But then afterward, they said it was the plane bombing the Pentagon. I still vividly remember standing right in my dorm room, uh, came outside in the apartment, like, uh, saw this whole thing unfold. And then by the time I walked outside my dorm, uh, saw people running, crying, people on the phone and running, and they said the World Trade Center had been bombed. So right there, the university canceled classes that day, and we went back to my dorm and was watching the whole thing unfold. So it was very sad. Over 2,500 people lost their life. It was very sad on this day, and very, very a day that people will not forget. Americans cannot forget on the bombing of the World Trade Center, and that's how we had the attack in Iraq and other places, and Afghanistan, and all of that. So it was really sad. Saddam Hussein, who we know was killed later later on, and then all those people. But I was there watching it live. What did 9/11 occur on TV? I still remember as a young man at Mercer University in Macon, Georgia, in my dorm room and watching it live on the TV. So this day, I want to dedicate our thoughts and prayers and the best wishes to all the family members who died on that day on 9/11. So on behalf of the closing acumen, we'd like to reach our thoughts, our best wishes with all those who lost their life during the 9/11. So we'd like to welcome you today to the closing acumen. Good evening, uh, John J. One-Way, who's following up live from Johnsonville, Jim Kayete from Monrovia, Thompson B. Boss watching us all the way from Australia. I see Nora Hook as well. Welcome, Nora. We are getting to our getting closer next week as we've been announcing, and some of you who follow us on Facebook, we will have our special fundraiser for the closing acumen, and the purpose of the fundraiser is to raise funds so that we can keep the program going and the show going as well. We will have email some of you, send you the invite to invite some of you as special fundraiser, and folks are responding. A couple of folks have responded positively that they will make themselves available on that day, next week Friday, to come. So if you part of watching here today and you want to come up on that day as well and make a donation, that would be great. You are part of us. You're part of the family, and we appreciate it. Good to see you, Augustine Gayflaw. He's Augustine is following us from North Carolina. William Fodekwe is following us from Wiyala, Magili County. I know where Wiyala is. Uh, Robertson Cooper, live from Congo Town. Good to see you guys. So yeah, there you see you guys. This is our flyer. Guy, if you guys could just make it a little bigger so I can read it. Uh, 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 it's going to be a live fundraiser on the 20th, next week Friday. We want to give you enough time if you follow us on our. I get to how far we can go, but that is saying that I can do that from my phone. It's saying that it's talking about the fundraiser for the closing argument that is pending. It says, uh, join us, live event supporting the closing argument program. Uh, Help us raise funds and keep the program running. Mark your calendar. September 20, 5 p.m. in Liberia. 5 p.m. here Eastern, fundraiser for the closing argument. So we hope that you will join us from where you're at. We will have uh, cash app, we'll have music playing, and we just ask you to come up and be a part of the celebration on that day. All right, guys, just take it down a little bit, and if you guys can put the other video on uh, that we want to play here for the 9/11, while you guys are getting the money. As I said, I'm not supposed to be here talking today. Uh, 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 yeah, Henry, you ready? Let's do that. Let's play that video that Timmy just sent you. I really not supposed to be here talking. I did my wisdom too. So I mean, I'm not in a lot of pain, but I still have a lot of numbness on. So by the time the others, John, Tomalin, I hate to leave too many one here, and then we'll begin. But this is the flyer, guys. It's on our page, our Facebook page. When you see it, just share it. So, uh, uh, just share it. It will defeat the notion that going around that people supporting us and people doing. We have been doing this ourselves, and I want to thank all of you with you guys because oftentimes you guys come up and do the same thing. You guys will donate and all of that. But this time, we are asking you to do this for us. So, Tomalin, welcome. Welcome.
Yes, good to be back on the closing argument. Dr. Peabody, it's good to see you. I know you are in a lot of pain today. As I was telling you earlier, I went through that years ago. But before we say anything, let us show reverence and some respect to those who lost their lives on 9/11, 28 years ago, I think. So go ahead, you can play it. You got not playing it? When they're ready, they'll put it on. Yeah, like you were saying, no volume. Guys, I put the volume on. No. We can't hear the sound, but can you hear the sound? We can hear the sound. Let them move it. We can hear the sound.
Hello. Okay.
Anyway, Yes, like you were saying earlier. Oh, you ready to play now? Yeah. Well, uh, 28 years ago, I think it was when the United States came on attack by terrorists.
23 years.
23 years. Thank you, Pewee. Came on an attack by terrorists, and for me, I remember I had just come to the U.S. I was in my I came 2000 January. I was in Rhode Island in Johnston. I work. Yes, and I remember that day. I thought it was just an ordinary plane crash, but then when I look, the one that made me to know that something had happened when I saw this plane going towards the World Trade Center live. I said, "Oh, what is?" I think the thing is that's a plane crash. And then everything from that time, America changed forever. President Bush was at a local school. President George Bush, he was president at a local school. They were reading to the kids. My national security advisor sending Burger King to his ears and told him something. And president feature changed. And you could see a feature change right away. And next thing, the National Security Council was assembled. And at that time, Rudy Giuliani was America. How can he earn the title of America's mayor?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that this guy had allowed himself to just destroy his whole career.
Yeah. Trump destroyed him.
He just went down, but he played a pivotal role the early days of that attack. And from that day, America changed. That's why today, when you're traveling in America, you go through thorough check. You take out your belt, your shoes, anything on you. Your laptop is taken off your bag, and they are rigorous about the airport. Because of that, now you go through a lot of checks, which is for our own security. And Americans have intensified the security. They have a lot of gadgets at the airport. Even in Europe, whenever you go to when you're traveling through Brussels or in Paris, the same thing happened. They would, in fact, when they even search you in America, you get to France, they charge you the same way. They can take things from your own bag and clear away all. So you gotta be careful when traveling through this country. Put your stuff in your check-in bag, because I lost a lot of stuff before traveling through Paris and Brussels. Took my stuff, my one bag, and just threw it away. I was so mad. They said, "Well, if you're mad, you go back outside and then you can check it in." But just because of 9/11, our whole lives changed, And today, America today is us. Today, and see, this morning I witnessed President Biden, Vice President Harris, Donald Trump, and J.D. Vance. They were all in New York. They were standing side by side. Just imagine after that debate last night, to see Harris and Trump standing side by side, showing respect to all those who lost their lives on that day. It was interesting, very interesting. But again, we say, we pray, we wish the souls of all those who perished on that day, may their soul rest in peace. And we pray that we should never experience such attack on the soil anymore, or in any country anymore. Condemn it, all terrorism, all form and shape, and we pray that we should study such a attack no more. May those who lost their lives rest in peace. But that's it, Peabody.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I still remember I was still a student in Georgia at the Mercer University in Macon, Georgia, the undergraduate campus. and I was just walking about to leave the dorm to go to class, and I had my file in my hand, my backpack, and just watching the TV. Like my roommate would come from his room, I would come from my room, and we'd meet right in the little living room they had there, and just watching the TV. Saw the plane coming. The first plane went. I thought it was just a movie. Had no clue. Then later on, I saw the second plane going again. So I realized I was running late. Ran down. I didn't know they had bombed the World Trade Center. They were just talking about the plane, you know. So I ran down, running to class. On my way to class, I saw a lot of people coming back. A lot. People running, people on the cell phone, people crying. And they said they had bombed the World Trade Center. And in fact, there was no school that day. There was a live stuff that came. I said there will be no school today. Just a rain, and everybody coming classes. All classes canceled. And then my roommate, I was like, "Damn, we're just watching the thing, you know." So we just went back to our dorm and sat there in the living room and watched the entire process the whole day. But it was very, very sad. You know, as we watched it through the evening, it was really, really sad. Very, very sad for for the United States. You know, and it's amazing how the United States kind of pick up after all of that. That was amazing. You know.
Pewee, what was you? I know you in the U.S. that time.
No, no.
So why were you in hear that news?
I was actually in Monrovia. I went to visit one of my big brother at the Liberian Telecommunication Authority, Telecom at the time, right on Broad Street, opposite the Sport Commission there. You know, at the time, Telecom normally used to have live and time to time regular internet in the country where people used to go normally to do the collect call in here into the US. So we were there in his office when this news broke. When we saw because you know, at the time coming up, I was very passionate about politics. So I was regular on following news. Everything I want to see is news, news, news. So I did follow it very live, and also I had my earpiece following BBC live. BBC was the descriptive analysis coming out of BBC. It was very terrible. It was one of the, and as both of you guys stated, this changed the entire globe. It changed the war, and it brought, and again, the good part of it, it advanced technology more or less in terms of security. Most of those things, that's the time most of the scientists went to Rome. Most of those computer engineering, those scanners and other things, you got scanners today that can just scan an entire suitcase now, right? Without even opening them, right? So it's because of this, all of those things unfolded, but it brought serious issue. I can recall, you could see, imagine we that were thousands of miles away from New York, way in Liberia, we could see from the television the way the New Yorkers were devastated, particularly those in Lower Manhattan, right? So it was a very terrible development. Firefighters have responded immediately. People realized something up. And you know, at the time, and that's what someone said to me. One of my old men told me, I can recall, he said to me, he said, before in America, you just, when you're traveling to another country, you just go to the airport, boom, you guys on the flight. There was not too much of tax security, right? This particular thing changed. Even people, according to him, people that lived here before, he said he could remember people that didn't have paper who even go and work and workplaces at the time. People were not being tough in terms of identification, and this process also brought a lot of issue about. And that's one of the reasons to even open a bank account here, you have to go through a lot of identification processes and why we also act the pass and all those things. So those things, it did not only change America, it changed the entire globe. So that's one of the reasons today be traveling. Traveling is surf nowadays. It's a very serious stress. And I do honor the loss of those thousands of Americans on that day, and those particularly that happened in Shakespeare, Pennsylvania. Those heroic individuals that were on the plane, because that other plane that they crashed into the field, I know Skageville or so whatsoever the name. I mean, I get it right, but that plane was intended for the Pentagon, right? And those other Americans on board had to join on there, and they did everything. They crashed that plane. All of them 170 plus died, unfortunately. But again, they saved a lot of life. Had that plane crashed into the Pentagon, it would have been more devastating and the rest of that. So we want to recall them and remember them. And we hope that, like I say, the fact that the U.S. government is keeping the legacy up and honoring them every year is good. The family member will go and call their name and move them and do some sober reflections, and we'll do some supplication on their behalf, so that their spirit will rest in peace and the rest of that. So I mean, this is a day that we all, America play a very major role in our country democracy and into the war. So if America is hurt, the entire war will come to a standstill. And that's one of the reasons when that thing unfolded at the time, there was some serious problem 201 in terms of travel across the world, because America is the beacon of democracy, is the head of Interpol. They help police a lot of things unfolding in the world. That's one of the reasons why we all respect this country, because they set the basic standard as to how we should operate and how we should move on doing things. But I think it's quite unfortunate that we can remember this day, but we will pray for them and the lost one and other things. But again, yes, that's it. And I don't know if you guys were tuned. I was just listening to the president, return to the country. And a lot of things he said that we were all talking about what came up on China. Exactly. It seems to be a lot of things came out. He was naming those things that I'm not talking about the other investments. We'll go into it on the show, but there were a lot of bilateral fruits coming out. And so it's true. Then, I mean, I think it was very successful on this time around the trip. But yes, we pray for the for the family of those that lost their life on that terrible day in this country history.
Yeah, before we jump to the presidents and other stuff, let me just test something out just as I end on this 9/11. The plane that was destined for the Pentagon, the guy who saved the day was the Cohen Ted Beamer. Ted Beamer, yes. The guy said, according to the recording,
the voice recorder.
He said he saw this guy. He said he have a saying. He said, "Let's roll." And when he said let's roll, he attacked this terrorist on he attacked him. When he Ted Beamer, Ted Beamer. His wife's name was Lisa Beamer. Yes, I remember that name very well. He said, "Let's roll," and it just went on the guy and attacked him and brought him down. But so how can the plane just crash over there? Never reached to the Pentagon. But they remember him. I hope they keep remember him for the role he played.
Wait, Sylvester just said something. That during those days, I remember vividly at the Hartsfield International Airport in Atlanta. You can walk straight up to the boarding doors and wait for your guests to come.
Yeah.
And they will come right out. You will see them, and you know Atlanta Airport is really huge. And when you get there, and you don't know if you don't know your way around, you already suffered there for a minute. So if any guests were coming to Atlanta, I would go straight up. I mean, those days you could walk straight up and stand right to the door, the gate. So I would stand right there. I would wait, and when the guests come, we just find a way around and go. But since 9/11, you can't even get on the line.
Yeah.
If
you don't have a boarding pass, you can't even service in here.
You can't even come there. So all those things change. Like work authorization thing. Those days there was nothing like verifying people. To verify your work documents and things like that. But 9/11, I think the most simple thing, even getting a driver license.
Exactly.
Everything changed, bro. You couldn't even before you get those days if you didn't have your document.
And mind you, that was on TPS, bro. So it. But we just started working, so it wasn't easy though. When you go
I was on student visa, and the moment I graduated, when I got my undergraduate degree, I didn't have no student visa. The only thing that saved me those days, my lesson was still valid for almost 8 years or 10 years.
Yeah, they used to give you driver lesson according to your immigration status. They'll give you that 1 year work authorization. They'll give it to you. When the time coming, you worry. You say, come tell me other job.
Yeah, that's continuous state. They still giving it.
Went through a lot, yeah. But I was 9/11, and like we said, we pray that America will study such a thing no more. We should never experience such a tragedy, national tragedy that happened. And we pray for world peace, because I don't know why some people in their mind, those who they call terrorists, their mind just how can you go? They kind of precious life God gave you. You say me, I kill him myself.
Yeah.
I mean, they say when I do it with my paradise. Okay, I mean, they left precious. You take, he said, me, I won't kill myself. Yeah. I mean, you preparing to kill yourself just for no reason. Those who could have who does commit suicide mission, I give them their own their prop, because I know me for that one. Let everything matter down, everything go.
Even when they say you 6 months, you worrying.
Yeah,
yeah.
You say you gonna kill yourself. Yeah, they put all kind of thing around there, and you go.
Yeah, man.
You know, and guys, before we end, man, you know, something happened. I remember one time I got on the plane, I saw this guy, man, dressed up all that kind of way. I said, I was uncomfortable. I said, hey, dude, look, yeah, all that thing on him. I said, hey, but the guy, when I was with the guy, just scared because I was afraid of the guy. But then at one point in time, the plane was shaking. At one point in time, we were having this turmoil, and I said, the man who was scared, the man said scared. That's it, but then they got just blind man, you know. Well, look, guys, we just praise God for life and thank God that we have not experienced such a thing on the soil since that time. People have tried, but they were for it.
One of the things yesterday, I did, when we were traveling, I mean, we pick up from Brussels. The pilot announced that because 2 minutes, the pilot was trying to reiterate the time. Because he first announced 7 hours, 20 minutes. Then we'll pick up that here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, seems to be we have some very perfect weather ahead of us. So our flight time to New York now going to be 6 hours and 45 minutes. Then everybody started clapping to the time, then reduce the time. We went 1 hour into the flight. We all the streets guy. The guy going to the bathroom. The guy went in the bathroom. The guy spent more than 40 minutes in the bathroom.
What?
Man, everybody got concerned. Look, all the men came. I can remember that. I was in economy premium. All the men, everybody came down. So they called the chief communication officer on the flight, went down, one of the co-captain or whosoever they came down. But you know, most of those fly sometimes. So they were trying to communicate, but I just saw another guy strange. But that's the time I got to know that most of the flight, if not all, flying into the US, out of the US, into major European city, we have sometimes those marshals on board.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They got marshals on board. You know, that was something else. So the guy came, the guy did it, so the man put some Tony on the sun, the man told everybody to sit down. The man knocked the door, told the guy, said, hey, you're gonna lie. But what the guy came out, the man said he was sick. The man spent 40 minutes in the bathroom, man.
Wow. That was probably telling you, your people yourself.
He was actually said going up in not well. So the guy breached the door, the bathroom door, they breached it. And I had to enter on him. He was like, so they had to call some other, and we'll go for all we have, but more than 3 medical doctors on our flight.
Yeah,
so the one go, so imagine when you're in the air, I mean, no hope. So
no, nothing. That one will go.
Yeah.
You will go.
No hope there. So
We live at the grace of God, the mercy of God.
Let go, man. Let go. And I like the basic. It was good that it's bad that the 9/11 already happened, but it teach the world now most of the thing, because since the 9/11 happened, every airport, and the last terrible thing that happened again was Brussels airport. Since that thing happened, you can remember Brussels airport situation, was it 2016?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 2016 or 2015, when Brussels airport situation unfolded. Yeah. Then again, also changed issue about security on airports. They sent around, they scan almost everybody at our PLR airport. We all are scanned 100% from whatsoever thing you think the machines, there's somebody on that airport seeing every part of us. I think that is good for travel, and that's one of the reasons why it be years you have not seen. You think the guys are attempting to do that, but the way they got in through security is good, and that's why I worry about our country. Some of the countries that we have, right? You see people just go through with kids. We don't have the up-to-date machines. It can sometimes concern me, but again, if we have those airlines themselves got major scanner while you entering, they will help to scan those things to have everybody safe and then fly. I mean, go through safely. But I think it's scary.
Well, just to thank God that we praise God for life, praise God for good health, and continue to pray. In the midst of every day you get up, wake up in the morning, we're hearing some death news. I mean, we're all getting affected somewhere or the other.
Yeah, we just heard about our comrade Famata Kalon.
Yeah,
from the University of Liberia. I mean, it's
very
shocking. Yeah, Famata Kalon. She was married before to Charles Salif.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that devastating news I just got it this afternoon.
We lost 2 journalists on the same day, Timothy Cyclone and Fidel. They died the same day. He used to be on the newspaper.
Timothy?
Yeah, Timothy Cyclone, he died too with Fidel the same day.
Yeah, man.
Yes, and then I lost a close friend of mine yesterday too, Janet Hoff Nelson. I got to know her when she was in at University of Lagos in Unilag. At the time we went to Nigeria for some student exchange program there. But my thoughts and prayers to her family, to her husband Bracky Nelson, and the entire Nelson Hoff families. Her sister passed 2 years ago, and the mother passed a year before. Just want to say our thoughts and prayers with the family, and pray that God will comfort them during these difficult times of their lives. But the president is back in the country. But there was a revelation made before we'll talk about it later. I talk about the president arrival first, but I know we'll talk tonight about the acting minister of finance testifies and said President Boga requested changes to the national budget without the ministry's knowledge. But we'll show you guys today a handwritten note allegedly written by the president on the budget, giving instruction about that budget, making allocation of the $40 million. I don't think it's in the news. I think we got that information last night, but maybe the Liberian people would identify, they will find out who handwritten is notice that. It's telling you exactly about the allocation, about the $40 million that the top were altered. We share with Liberian people tonight. Maybe they'll make their own determination that indeed the budget was altered, and the notes will tell you. Somebody gave instruction about that, about the allocations that were made. You see the line items of those made for the money to be appropriated to. But Pewee, I did not witness the president's arrival. Maybe let's start with the president's arrival in the country. You witnessed it. I don't know what Peabody witnessed it too, but share with us.
Yes, I watched a little bit of it.
I didn't watch it. I was so busy today. So, but let's show us perhaps the arrival of the president and the goodies he brought back to the country.
Yes, thank you. I didn't listen in its entirety, but I think I captured a significant portion of it. I don't know if it's significant, but I didn't know the time he started. But basically, what I learned or what I heard he talked about was in the process of he's talking about he was received by the president of Indonesia and the president of China, and also, but the major package, the Indonesian process came from them trying to get involved and train our agriculture technicians, basically some level of rice production he talked about. But most of the major development came from the issue of China. Some apart from the private investment we were all talking about the last time, there have been a lot of bilateral agreement between grant, as I say, a grant coming to the government of Liberia, and the Chinese president also waived some million of dollars in Chinese money and in US dollar, that debt that we owe the Chinese government. He emphasized that. One of the major things I talked about the last time was this Hott breach from the ministerial complex that they promised during the Guar administration to do, but they didn't do. They re-emphasized they're going to do that in this term when he met with the Chinese leader. He also said that they're going to build a major bridge to connect Tour Street to Kehleboe Boulevard. The Chinese government committed to do that. That issue between Tour Street and Kehleboe Boulevard and the rest of that. So, and there's a lot of other packages. I hope to go through the list and other things that they said. But hearing what he said, and I thought those were good development for the country, because if those things were to happen, what would do, particularly the Hott bridge from the ministerial complex, that would ease tremendously. East traffic, help to give a smooth commute to our motorists and pedestrians, if you will. And the major thing we've been talking about that will help revolutionize the traffic situation in our country or in our city, Monrovia, is this Tour Street to Kehleboe Boulevard. That's a major route that the former president of the country, Master Sergeant Samuel Kayando, started to dream of. Was his plan to do that. Unfortunately, we had this terrible civil crisis in the country, so that did not materialize again. So these were things that the president said. A lot of other things he said. I would hope the Ministry of Information or the press secretary will announce those things, but he announced them in the Alpha Baptist Church upon his return to the country. So I thought with that alone, the president also announced that the Chinese president announced $60 billion to African nations, and every African nation were to benefit from that. So it's part of the process, part of what we now receive here. It's part of our share of what the Chinese government going to be giving out. Yes, that issue we're going to help in other technical areas, and he also emphasized that the Indonesian government announced to give scholarship to Liberians to go learn in different sectors, particularly into the agricultural sector also. So, I mean, there were a lot of other things. Probably we will try to turn in them as we move on into the program. But I thought these were things that came out of the forecast. I know the forecast, normally we don't go to the forecast and come empty-handed. So it was a very good visitation, and I thought it's good.
Well, I think, firstly, we'd like to welcome the president back home. Anybody will be excited. He went to his church, Effort Baptist Church, and as you said, Sylvester, let's see what comes out of that. I don't want to be very critical, but we're seeing all those things happening before. This person played $2 million, this person played $50 million. Let's see it in fruition. Let's see Liberian people benefiting from it. Let's see what's going to happen. My only concern here is that Liberia don't be the victim of all those major donation memoranda of commitment that was signed. I hope Liberians also benefit from it as well. But it's good to have the president back in the country. I think, and we look forward to see what come after. I think other Liberians will be excited, knowing how difficult it has been in our country. Knowing the roads. I mean, there was something published today for different roads and stuff like that we saw, and which made it very, very, which is very difficult.
You see about Adam Khan taking shaking?
Yeah, Adam is big there with the president. I see a president guy. The first lady used to be a student at the Liberia Baptist Seminary. She was
I went here from. Okay.
Yeah, she was a student at the Liberia Baptist Seminary. So most of the people there, and they are Baptists. He's a deacon. Boyka is a deacon in the Baptist church, at Effort Baptist Church. So, I mean, it's good to see them back home. But we just hope that what they said will happen. But I'd just like to stress something at tuning before we continue this very important topic. Thank to Nora Hope and others who have accepted our invitation to come on next week Friday and to help us. Thank to Elder Foster, too, from the Northeast, who also accepted our invitation to come up and help us raise the necessary funds. So, guys, it's just to remind you. But let's get back to the topic. I didn't want to take people's topic.
Yeah, I want to join you in thanking Nora Hoax. She's a lawyer, a very loyal supporter of this platform. She's in Iowa there. She's a nurse by profession. She's always supporting us. She's somebody who is she's objective. She will blast when she criticizes. When things they need to be, she criticizes, she prays. She's not someone who is just a blind loyalist. No, she will tell you if things going wrong. She'll tell you. If she'll come to your inbox, she'll tell you exactly. I respect her for that, and I want to really recognize her and praise her for accepting our invitation to support us next week on the 20th, and all those who have accepted and will be supporting us on the 20th. I want to say thank you, and we
Gabriel Kessley also accepted our invite.
Gabriel Kessley, want to say thank you too. We hope you guys all appear next week, appear on the platform and make this happen. I say thank you, and we'll take you a long way. We'll go a long way for us in making a closing argument lively as we continue to move and make progress. Yeah, so you said, Peabody, they want to welcome His Excellency the President of Liberia, President Joseph Boyka, back to the country. The China-Africa conference, from where we see it was successful. And we look forward to seeing all the commitment made to Liberia to see it into reality in the next few months or years. I know we'll still see Chinese people arrive in the country, but the thing is that they can arrive in the country, do assessment, and then sometimes they just they go back and we don't hear from them. But we pray. For me, I'll tell people, we all gotta be optimistic. We gotta pray. We love Liberia, want the best for Liberia, but just hope and pray that these things work out. And if it come to fruition, It will benefit the country. People will have employment. Thousands of people are graduating from University of Liberia this week, I think. And these people are coming up, no job. We pray for that they can work up. But again, like Peabody said, we are old enough to know that these things happened in the previous government. We saw all these things happening. All the goodies were announced, but then later on, things have not. They didn't settle in. I can tell since Ellen left office, there have been no major investment in Liberia. To say a major company invested in Liberia and provided thousands of jobs for our people. So we're looking forward to see what happens. But again, too, in the midst of all of these things, too, that's why it's important to maintain the peace and stability of the country. That's why Councillor Gongloe said, you cannot ignore President Weah for the healing of this nation. He's the major opposition leader in the country. He's the largest opposition leader in party in the country. And you cannot ignore him because you want the country to be stable. So you cannot be at loggerheads and every day you're fighting seditions and trying to get at him. It will not help because President Salih was smart. Even though she had foreign troops on the ground, but she knew she was the major opposition party in the country, so she kept the peace. She kept close relationship with President Weah at the time, with the political leader and the TDC national leadership. She made sure they were always in tune in contact with them, so that anytime there's something threatening the peace, she could call them and say, "Look, what's going on? We can solve it." But there's a problem we have faced with this administration. We are not seeing them call any political leaders together to say, let's meet as the government opposition to move this country forward. So all of these good things coming, the president announced today. That's why it's important that the country is stable. Because I tell you, nobody will put their money into a country when there's protests every day, protests, and threatening of the peace. So that's why I pray and hope that they take note and act accordingly. So again, we invite now we invite the press secretary. She's always said she's open to invitation. And the minister of information, they are all accepted they have agreed that they will appear at some point in time. So now I think we can invite them to come and explain to us more about about the China visit and what we expect. So we look forward to them engaging in the next few days and weeks to see that they come and explain to us more about this China visit by President Garguah and the heavy delegation. Almost 60% heard. But we pray and hope that delegation, people are criticizing the delegation size, but if they were renewed more for us, the benefits will override the amount they put into it. So good. So guys, if you have any more thing to say about the president visit to China and his arrival, if not, we can move on. I don't know what anybody have anything to say again.
No, man. I mean, let's move to other issues.
Let's go to a lot of issues.
Okay. Let's talk about this thing first. Okay. There's an issue about the acting minister of finance. Okay. He appeared before the House, I think the House. And then he made some starting revelations. He said about concerning this the national budget. He said he said President Boyka, Anthony Meyer, he said President Boyka held a meeting with the Speaker of the House and the President pro tem of the Senate, resulting into an agreement to negotiate the debt amount. Although the measure later agreed with the legislature on a $20 million payment, Meyer said he was informed at the last minute that the president has submitted a request to increase the payment to $40 million, reducing the initial $69 million allocation. Now, he said, and I quote, "The president convened a meeting with us, Minister of Finance, and the leaders of both houses, the Speaker and the pro tem. In that meeting, we put all our decisions on the floor, and the House and Senate put theirs. What the dynamics, but then he said the dynamics changed. It is when now that we were informed by the president directed that Senator Moore has been displayed. So now, there's a document concerning this allocation of the $40 million. Barry, can we put it in the chat room? Let's put it up. Let people see it.
Okay, let me send it to them.
Yeah, please send it to them. Now.
Yeah. Let me put it. Yeah, guys, I've sent it to you guys now. To FM. Yeah, I sent it to you guys. All right, 70 Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, yes, it was when I think there was an issue between the Senator Moy. He had a problem yesterday with somebody.
McGill.
McGill. They were calling each other rogue, eh?
Yeah, I want to pick and I can find that video and show it.
Put that video up. Who more again? You see this thing? It's not in the public, but for the first time you'll see it. Now, yes, there's $40 million to talk about. Now, I'm told that this signatures, this note was the president note. I can't read it, but it says so grateful. Please expedite this Mr. VP. So now they allocated 1.5 million for Monrovia City Corporation, 1.5 for Monrovia for Painesville City Corporation, 5 million for the rehabilitation and the integration program, 9 million for Roberts International Airport, 6.1 million for the car power electricity, another 5.5 million for referral hospital, 3 million for the fire service trucks, and 5 million for education, and 4 million for agricultural program. Now, this is where the problem coming from. So, we want to find out now about this allocation. So, I'll open the floor, guys. You guys can start the discussion on it about this allocation that was made on the budget. And okay, very good. You see, the signature, the comment is to inform that the president. Yes, you put it up small. Put it up small. He says, "So grateful." You put it up a little bit, please. I know. Yeah, please expedite this, Mr. VP. It was signed April 29, 2024. Now, so you see, so these are the allocation was made. So people are asking where the money we're going to go now. Who are going to put all these items on the budget? Now they're accusing they're saying the leadership of the Senate, the House, and some key members of the Senate and the House were aware of this, including the presidency. So that's why the issue is coming from. But again, I was told that despite all of this thing coming up, they still kept it in the budget. Somebody were reduced. The Liberian got to be on the alert for it to see what happened. But this has been the usual practice. People put these things in the budget. When the budget passes, then they go and get these things. That we will see 3 million spent on fire trucks. We will see it. Now, people are accusing. They say people. That's why they put certain people in certain position at these areas for the interest involved. So, but guys, I want to let you guys to come into. I want to share with you guys. Maybe one from you. Yes, from you guys. Peabody, Pewee.
But Tomalin, are you saying that the president himself, that's his writing?
That I'm informed that the president's writing there. He said, because don't forget that the minister said they all met. Saying his president is saying, I'm grateful. Please expedite, Mr. VP.
So he's asking them.
So this can come and clarify this. They can clarify
this budget. This is the budget that was altered. This is it.
The 40 million appropriation for program in the national budget. You see it?
So these funds were in the budget already. I mean, some money was there already. So they add additional money to this program. Okay. So Monrovia City Hall got additional 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Painesville City Corporation. So then how could they do this without even talking to the House or even getting the speaker or others involved? How could they do this and then or carrying this bill to be passed? You got $5 million additional fund for education, 3 million for fire service, 5 million for referral hospital. How many referral hospital guys in our country? Too many? One, right?
But yeah, they said, Peabody, they said tensions between the executive and the legislature have escalated and made accusations that unknown individuals tampered with the budget after it was passed by the 55th legislature. A Senate ad hoc committee chaired by Senator Daba Vapila of Grand Cape Markham has been tasked with investigating the matter. However, a public hearing conducted by the committee on Tuesday, September 11, has unearthed that the Speaker of the House and the President pro tem of the Liberian Senate, Konati Kofa and Yombi Kanga Lauren, attended a meeting at the residence of President Boyka in Rehab, Osa Monrovia, 2 days prior to the passing of the national budget by the legislature to make additional allocations without the knowledge of other members of the Jones Committee and the National Legislature in particular. That's not what they're saying. They say after the budget was passed, the leadership of the Senate and the House met with the President at the House.
So they say that Yomli and Speaker Kofa knew about this.
Yeah, it's according. Yeah, say
What's it?
during the public hearing conducted by the committee, it was unearthed the Speaker of the House and the pro tem attended a meeting at the residence of President Boyka in Rehab, Osa Monrovia, 2 days prior to the passing of the national budget by the legislature to make additional allocations without the knowledge of other members of the Joint Committee and the legislature in particular.
So why are they saying they didn't know about it? Why, if the Speaker setting a committee to investigate this, if he actually went to the president home and to talk about it, why is he saying that he didn't know about this, Dominic?
That's why the problem coming from. The tensions coming from everybody concerned. That's why I'm bringing the issue now. You see,
why is the president pro tem saying that she doesn't know about it? She set her own committee. So are these guys sitting there just making fool of the Liberian people? Is that what you said?
They say it established that both the House of Representatives and Senate Secretariat surreptitiously transmitted and concurred respectively of the passing of the budget without stating the specific figure at which the budget was passed, and failing to submit the working plan and other relevant documents which normally accompany letters transmitting the draft budget. Say that. Speaking during the hearing, the chairman of the Senate committee, Prince Moy, pointed out that a vigorous reading of the budget was carried out by the Joint Committee by Jason Sibo. That one, I think he's lying right there. Okay? And Senator Moy said during a meeting of the lead negotiator of the legislature, Senator Amarcon indicated that the IMF and the bankers were inclined to roll over the domestic payment of $40 million next year budget.
So yes. How people, if this is true, I don't want to believe the speaker or the knew about it and then setting up a community investigation. If he actually knew about it and setting up an investigation, this seemed like a blackmail deceiving the Liberian people. You know, how can I know for something? But it doesn't.
But you got Senator Moy. He's saying that the budget was passed by the House with the inclusion of the $20 million for the payment of domestic debts. Now, that's where the trouble coming from. Because Prince Moy is known for this. He knew that's why he all want to head that finance committee, that Ways and Means committee. That's why he all want to head it, because they know what he played the budget. This is where it's coming from.
See, that's why we talk about. Professor Kennedy said the other day, it's all blah. People do. I mean, a whole country. Is that any seriousness in that country? I mean, how can people willing to know about a committee? Wouldn't it sit with the president, have a conversation? I don't want to believe this, to be honest. To their credit, I don't think I believe this. I don't think the speaker would have known about this, and then later on come back and set up a whole committee to investigate. All the committee, that what I said, is always some kind of vlog. Oh, we set up the investigation. Oh, we did it. Now, I understand there were all UP folks appointed to do the investigation. So UP folks will come back, and there's no way, if they actually did this, there's no way the UP folks can come back and say this happened, stuff like that. They will come up. But unfortunately, it's sad for the country, the whole country. People finger the budget, alter the budget, and not a single person can give account. How did this ever happen in a big country like that? Would this happen? I'm confused.
The word they used, according to them, they said they did not think the budget was not tempered, was not altered, but what they did, they said it was realigned.
Jeez.
What they call realigned. The realignment was done. But indeed, the Liberian people should be informed, be aware that indeed something happened. The president did have a close meeting with the leadership of the Senate and the House concerning the budget.
Okay, what came out of the meeting that time? If the president met with them, what came out of the meeting? I want to begin to pull that thing back up.
Exactly, because going to this kind of a thing, and the budget is not an ordinary instrument. The budget is the instrument of law. It's the instrument of it's a constitutional issue here. So, and it's been this way for many years. On a serious note, we ought to now press our lawmakers to get some legitimate answers and serious answers about the national budget, because it has happened before. Other folks believe that they use the budget instrument to just enrich themselves, in other words. But again, we have to be a little critical as to and mindful as to how we can ask or high question and receive appropriate answers to those questions. Because if the budget process, the budget we have to come, and that's why we have the Committee on Ways, Means, Finance, and the budget. Those two committees, we have to have meet in a conference discussion before the passage of the budget, before the both plenaries of the two houses can meet and pass the budget. Because if the two committees, the two conference committee, they hold a conference committee, meet and do some house cleaning process and agree on a strategic process there, they move on to pass the budget. And the both houses will move on that and send it over to the president. If that is done, the chief clerk going to sign, the secretary of the Liberia Senate going to sign, the president pro tempore of the Liberia Senate will sign, the office of the speaker going to sign, and they engrush the budget. When it's engushed, then before the engrushment process is done, when it's passed, they send it over to the president. Now, if the president is not pleased with the budget, the president can either, two things the president can do. The president can either begin the process of negotiation and telling the lawmakers we can do some compromises in this area. Yes, what I do believe that we should put some things for the sake of poverty reduction, or the sake of infrastructure development, or other basic line, or salary increment for civil servant. In this kind of a way, the president can negotiate with them, say, hey, we can come down to a compromising point here. Or the last option the president has is to veto the budget. And the president veto the budget, he will show his reason why he's doing that. And the only way to overturn that decision by the president, two-thirds of both houses can override the president's decision. And when two-thirds of both houses override the president's decision, the budget, then, they move on. The state instrument they pass, it will become a law. But in the action of that, the president got the options to ensure that we do some things around, do some backstage maneuvering, and ensure that many instances the president don't want to see vetoing that instrument. So the president will now move the other route to negotiate, because you will still need the legislature to do a lot of things. There'll be a lot of instruments you're going to send to them to be passed into law. So part of the reason that's why a Liberian leader will always move the path of negotiation and seeking some compromises in that way. Okay, we'll give you guys this, because normally the lawmaker will always push you want something extra, and then the president will come to that line. But in the process about agreeing to this line, and if it is surreptitiously, as the word stated in that place, if it was done surreptitiously or with any sinister motive, then it's a problem. That is tantamount to abrogation of the Constitution, because anything sinister that will be done on the issue of the constitutional instrument, we will have to revisit that process to understand. So I think we need to ask more questions, and I think some of that you have to be mindful, because part of the reason I believe the U.S. government sanctioned Nukwe, it was in the same direction. They indicated it clearly. It was in the same direction that former Speaker Nukwe was sanctioned by, and current Senator Mangibi was sanctioned by the U.S. government and the rest of that. So we have to be mindful as to why and how we indulge into this kind of a thing relative to the instrument of our country, because that's the major instrument of our country that moves towards development. So if that, again, how can we quickly verify if that is the handwriting of the president? We're stating this in Ghana because the executive management may come out and say, hey, that's not the president's handwriting. That's not the president this. So,
I honestly come up to you, but that's why you see, again,
and that's why you put it in that kind of thing.
It's important that they break their silence on it, because the question people are asking now, all this happened after after he signed the budget. Remember, he signed the budget at the airport appointed rather from the U.S. So these are questions people are asking.
Yeah.
And we'll reach out to them. But if you know one thing, what I like about America, if people reach out to you, you are once you are a public official, you are compelled to answer people.
Of course.
Not like everybody. You saw Trump left some journalists, then he will answer them. But in our country, the things say when you refuse to talk, then you doing good. When you refuse to talk, people will come out will publish what they know, and then you will be the one to say, well, you will be fighting to explain. But again, the issue will bring problem because we'll reach out to them, and we'll reach out to you, and wherever you tell us, we'll come and tell the Liberian people.
Right.
If you insult us, if you tell us you want to be chicken or whatever the case, we'll tell Liberian people, we'll call your name. We'll say I reached out to Pewee to ask him to talk about this, and this is what he said. We'll report it to the people. They're good about that. And like you said, Pewee, you gotta be very mindful because right now everybody pay attention to this budget. Liberia is trying to get this compact in December. Whether they will get it, we know. The only president said he want to get it. Liberia passed twice on president. We have, but we never got the compact.
Yeah.
So now all of these things happening, people are getting concerned. So the question is being asked, all the allocations they made, the appropriation that was made. I mean, the president, how will you calling the head of the legislature with all the committee members, then you call into your house and the two heads, the speaker and the pro tem, to meet with them and to discuss these things. I think anything of that nature, the committee should be informed. But want to find out. We'll dig more into the story.
Yeah.
We're going to dig into it. We'll find out.
Yes. I know
the Trump is already investigating. They're already digging deeper into it. Trump is on is investigating.
You are saying something about you said they were trying to realign the budget.
According to if you gotta go ahead, let me find it.
You know,
before you find it, you cannot realign. The only thing you can do is there's some issue. You can recast the budget. Where the realignment process coming from the budget is already something.
What are you using to mango now?
Yeah, realign what? Why are you realigning?
Hell.
Yeah, so I think they need to fix that problem.
Yeah, I think Sylvester, if this really happened, like somebody said, it was done nicodemously, that was bad. To be honest, it doesn't speak any truth for our country. I mean, credibility and everything is bad because you cannot do that behind your people. I mean, honestly, I mean, what does that speak for our country, a nation? I mean, you leave your entire team out, you go and sit there and make a plan, and the payer, I mean, you adding all those things. If that is true, I would say that's fraud, though. That's fraud. That's serious fraud. And the group and the guys involved, I mean, the House and the Senate could come down with would not trust you. The people that you're leading may not trust you, if that is true. I don't want to say it is true, but I mean, guy like Nukwe, Moyi, there, those are people you have in the Senate. The only representation they do in the Senate is to steal. Let's be honest. That only major representation you see them, you go to the Senate, you see them walking around all day in meeting. It's all about money they're trying to get to enrich themselves. It's not in the interest of the country. They are always involved in something. It's the Prince Moyi, it's the Nukwe, you name it. They're always involved in some kind of little stuff, and which is bad. I think if they did that, I think if the speaker or the pro tem met with the president, it's incumbent upon them to come up and give a press conference and say, look, we met with the president last night, or bring it back to the body.
Yes.
And say, we met with the president last night. This is what the president is suggesting, and we'd like to bring on the table. But for that to be held outside of the body, I think that's a complete disrespect to the body. Not regarded. And those are people that elected you. Those are people that put you there, and for you to go there, I think it's wrong, and it appears to be some kind of fraud. When it comes to government business, there's no secret in it, bro. I know we can't compare our country with that of the U.S., but everyone who worked for the government in the country, you can go on a site and see all the paycheck, see how much they make. It's there, it's listed how much this person make. I mean, your name and everything, the money you make, because it's a public stuff. The public is entitled to it because it's taxpayer money. But if you're having meeting behind other people and the very people that put you to be the leader, you go and have a meeting close to. If I keep using the word, if it is true, it appears to be fraud to me. I don't think it was fair, and it's incumbent upon them now to come up and have a press conference and say, "Look, this is what happened." But then again, the credibility will already be lost. I hope it's true. I hope it's not true. Let me say this.
Now, Minister Myers pointed out that the executive through the ministry carry out realignments of the national budget inconsistent with the manner and form in which the budget is executed. Now, he also said that, he said the Ministry of Finance did not receive the budget, until it was signed by the president on May 8th this year. So now, I'll tell you this though. One thing I can tell you, mark this, the what I'm saying. Just how we used to always predict that, people used to predict that Nukwe and Abachia will one day find themselves on sanction list. Prince Moi, I'm honestly, that guy, if he will not, these next 6 years of this administration, he'll fall on the American sanction list because he's involving all of these things about this budget tampering and so forth. Now, the question is, people are asking, that Peabody said, when the president convened a meeting with the pro tem and the speaker, I think it was a duty to come to the Liberian people and tell them, because you cannot do business at the president's home. You cannot do business at the president's home. The president's home is not the executive mansion. I think they should have come publicly to the Liberian people, and usually you guys can see it in America. Whenever when Trump was in office, or when Biden in office too, whenever the leadership of the House and the Senate meet with Biden, they come outside and the microphone is there, and they inform the people what they discuss about the budget, about the national budget in America. They don't hide, they don't do it in secrecy. But this story came about now. That's why I'm bringing the trouble. Somebody who knows, somebody feel left out. So they're saying now they're exposing that the meeting was held. Had they not have Trump not break this news, how would we have known that the president had a meeting with the pro tem and the speaker at his home? That's why, say what you want to say about front page. I respect them, and that's why the international community respect them highly. You can say what you want to say. That way their papers, every day their papers go through to all the embassies, they have copies of it. They come in Washington, D.C., the papers are all there too. People consider them credible. They respect them. And whenever they publish something, they don't just publish because they want to publish. They publish with facts. I'll tell you this, Pewee and Peabody. Before they sanctioned the officials in the Weah administration, I think it was 2 days to the sanction. The front page, one of the front page officials told me, he called me, he said, Georgie, the people in town. I said, why? He said they can't sanction people this week. I thought you were joking. I said, because we've been hearing about sanction all the time. And true to it, 2 days later, they announced the sanction. I said, wow. Because the embassy respect them, they work along with them. That's why they don't play with their credibility. So when you hear people saying, oh, they compromise, they want. Keep on saying it. I told one of them today in my inbox. I said, keep on saying it. When they hand down, the only thing I make our official government and come to the senses when the U.S. government acts. But we can talk on our platform all day, make noise all day, the press. By the time the people hand down a sanction, then they can come to their senses. And I can tell people, if you're in position in Liberia, if the U.S. government sanction you, the president will be compelled to ask you to resign, or he will fire you. You saw President Weah. When they sanctioned officials, they were compelled to step down and resign. So you guys like keep on acting tough, keep on. But this budget issue is being investigated, and people are going to get to the bottom of it. And we'll keep on digging deeper to find out where the money was allocated for. Because we're hearing news about those who are involved. We're hearing their names already. Put the money there to go after the same money. When once they pass, they go after the money. They're already thinking about 2029. So that's someone they know that they won't win wherever they are. So they try to prepare for the future already. And these are the people said these have been the norm. They have been doing it from government to government. They've been doing this thing. Made these appropriations in the budget, and whenever the budget passed, they get the money. It's not the first time happening. So again, that's why if the president have a problem with this budget, he should have vetoed the budget. Said he could say, I will not sign it until you take it back and you take this thing from there. But that's why people are concerned, because when we see that people, what are the people again? What is it? What is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, now they say 3.4 million for agriculture, 5 million for education, 3 million for fire trucks. We need fire trucks once a year. 5.5 for referral hospital. Once a hospital, I'll get money.
For too many, they did not even list. They did not even list what referral hospital. They just say referral hospital. That is the vague stuff right there. It's very vague.
Exactly.
You can say for JFK and the hospital in Ganta-Nima County, but you can't just say referral hospital. Who know what referral? Those are the scam right there, because it's vague and it's a 5 minutes for referral hospital, but they're not specific. The reason they're not specific is because folks from the hospital will not come and say we didn't get anything. And you can't make mention. You just say referral hospital. What referral hospital? You need additional 5.5 million. You said for referral fire service. Then you talk about 5 million for education, 3.4 million for agriculture. So what is the agriculture budget? How can you come up and add those things or even getting back to the legislature? That is fraud. To me, that's fraud, though. That's fraud. That is a serious fraud for a whole country, for a country to do that. I mean, that's bad. Whoever had meeting with the president, they should come up and say, you know what? Last night, the president invited me for us to discuss this, and this is what the president said. I'm going to take it back to the legislature. Okay, if it is true. But then, if it is true, and it's setting up community to investigate, this is the same thing I call VLA every time. This is a complete VLA. You set a committee who you know it's a VLA committee, who will be on your side, who will be in favor of you when they come up with a decision. Okay, they'll be in favor of you, so nothing will come out of this. You care less because you know the committee, you said they are supporting President Baka 100%, and they're going to come back and say, look, this is something that the president did, and that will be. I think it's wrong. When we are serving people, we have to be honest with them. We have to be very transparent when you are the leader, because those are the foundation that you build to become bigger leader next time, to be president or what. But if you can't build a simple foundation like that, of course, while it is true that not everything you talk with the president, you got to bring it out there. But this is a very important thing that should have been brought up with the colleagues in the House and the Senate. I think this is a betrayal to the Liberian people, if it is true.
Yeah, so we look forward. We're going to still stick on this story. We're going to follow the front page on it as they investigate this story. We're going to follow them, and the good Liberian people are listening to this story. We have over 2,000 plus people listening some on YouTube, some on listening on the radio, and also on the Facebook page and everywhere. And it's good that people are listening and following. We're getting messages. People are concerned about it. And we're not rest that we'll find out, we'll get to the bottom of this to find out exactly who made these alterations and why were the reason and why they were keeping it in secret. And we'll call their names. And trust me, we'll get their names and call. In fact, since there's notice saying, send it to the vice president, I'll reach out to the vice president and ask him, do you see this note? Tell us about this note we saw that's been written to you. Expedite. And you see, we got to get to it. And what we're going to find out, we'll get to it. People should not take it for a joke. We'll get to it. And that's the reason why when they ask these questions, people are concerned about why they just deny our people a visa. That's one of the reasons why. People see your name on these things. They see people attached to this and they say, but people there, I think they really want to be part of, to work with us. We'll reach out to all the people we know, we'll reach out to them concerning this. And I don't know, people shouldn't be defended. Some people defending. You defend it for what? So you say you came for change. If you say that all the previous government did it, so you'll do the same thing too. That's not why you change for that. I mean, you fool Liberian people. You say you do things differently. Even when I was watching that thing with the president arrived today, I mean, all the people going to the airport, man. The president said he wasn't going to do it. Though. I remember when he was campaigning, he said, all that thing, he won't do it. He won't let people be leaving their jobs to go to the airport to be welcoming them and so forth. I mean, I pray that we get all of that mindset where we all should go there to go pay respect. No, I saw the acting chairman of the cabinet, the minister of justice was there. Yeah, let him go there and meet the president with the president's staff. From there, they go to the church for the intercessory service. From there, they can announce to the nation what happened. But again, I've not seen the president have a press conference since he became president. So the Minister of Information shouldn't want to be the medium to have press conference. Usually, and usually you hear when he come. I remember when Doe was president, when Doe traveled, he come back in the country, he addressed the nation, telling what he brought. You have press conference. Even Charles Taylor should do the same thing, but I've not seen it, in recent times. So one of the there's a big trip the president made. You should have a major press conference. Not going to let the media to do it. Address the Liberian people on this issue and say, look, this is what we brought. This is what we're expecting. So again, the budget issue, my people will look up to it. They'll keep our eyes on it. Tomorrow we'll continue. On Friday we'll continue this budget issue. We'll stay digging into it. And
I hope we can take some call on that later on that particular budget.
Yeah, it'll be good. You can take some call. I'll be happy. Yeah. Okay. I don't know which story you want to go on to. We got it. The one there. They say the GAC audit uncovered irregularities at the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication, where the President Minister of Labor, Cooper Crab, was caught in a cookie jar. And then they also said that
and God, I can't stop these things.
They said in the recast budget, they showed the government proposes major cuts to the war on Kush, agriculture, and roads. The thing though, they say the recast budget they talk about the government ran the campaign on drugs, the fight against drugs and Kush. But now in this recast budget, they propose to cut it down on the war on Kush. They cut the money on Kush, agriculture, and roads. But then the Ministry of State budget increases. Can you guys just see for this? You say you ran the three major things you ran the campaign on. You said you're going to cut down on drugs, Kush, agriculture. You're gonna promote agriculture and roads. But now in the recast budget, you cut down on it, but you increase the Ministry of State budget. Guys, where are we going?
Germany. So I don't understand this. So who made this budget in the first place? Who came out with this budget in the first place? I know that sometimes, but they had enough time to prepare this budget. They had enough time to review the budget. They had enough time to add and subtract and all of that. So then where are they coming from now? Well, all these things did. So, it means that the people who did it were they're competent enough. Okay. This budget had to go through the House. This budget had to go through the Senate. It has to go everywhere. It has to be out there for public, all of that, public opinion and all of that. So you want to tell me they made a budget, not even 6 months into their own budget, they're coming back and adding and stuff like that. So where are we headed? Okay, why are you cutting? You not going anywhere for Kush? Dylan has his mental health clinic. Maybe some money would be appropriated for Dylan mental health clinic as well, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's it. Who are the people that put this budget together? Then they deceive the Liberian people because they had enough time to review this budget, to check it and add and subtract and send the final draft for approval. And you want to tell me they come back again? I think this is a whole fraud thing. This new addition to the budget is where the fraud coming from. Is where the stealing coming from. Exactly where you see this. This new addition is where they put that to steal now. Let
me help you. Before people come in, listen to this one. On the campaign trail, the veteran ambassador, the president, alongside his running mate, Jeremiah Kuhn, is promised to liberate the Liberian people through the arrest agenda and acronym for agriculture, road, rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism. Now, their message resonated thoroughly with voters last crowd. However, as the public eagerly anticipated the administration development plan, many expect the government to build on landmark programs to the source of budget. Here's the issue now. Okay, they made it. The thing I want for you to listen to. Now, the government initially appropriated 1.93 million for the Kush Must Go project. But in a draft recast budget, the amount has been slashed to 425,000, a cut of $1.5 million. You see, they say they put initially 1.9.3 million for Kush Must Go project. They say Kush. But when they recast the budget, they put it down to 425,000. Okay, so tell me what's going on. But then why are they increasing then? Why are they increasing the Ministry of State budget? Okay, now agriculture. They put that they had there first. They had there $8.2 million, $8.8 million first, but it has reduced now from it carried down to from 5.72 down to $3.7 million now. They cut it too. Agriculture. Okay, education. They were also affected. They reduced it from 2.8 billion to 1.1. Oh man, I'm tired. Man, it's a joke. It's a joke. I'll be frank. They cut all the major things. They put the major issue in the budget. They cut it down, but the Ministry of State budget was increased. Okay, they cut the Ministry of Justice budget from 44 million to 40 million.
So as I said, this new addition to the budget is where the stealing coming from. That's it. Just put it there because I don't know. I may be wrong. Professor Kennedy is not here. I think Sylvester, you've been in government for a long time. You know how they work or they function. Don't they have that they had to go over the budget over and over to assess it and look at it and dissect the whole thing about the budget, what is needed to add it, and send it to different committee to review before you send it to the House and others to review it before. Am I right, Sylvester?
Yes, correct. And that's the process, right? The both committees, and that's why when the budget hearing process is on, we have the both committee we have to meet to joint committee. That's a conference committee, and they will first and foremost start from where the revenue side of the budget. We'll call all of the revenue generating institutions to come in and do a deliberation to the committee. And those institutions will come, for instance, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will come and project. We believe this year we'll collect $4 million. How are we going to collect the $4 million as Ministry of Foreign Affairs? It's going to be through passports, through visas, and the rest of that, and through other consulate fees. Now we move back to the Ministry of the Liberia Revenue Authority, the biggest revenue generating agency in the country. The LRA will come and say, okay, from custom, we believe we're going to generate this amount of $1 million from custom. For the large taxes, those that are doing big businesses in the country, large taxes, we believe we're going to generate this amount for large taxes. For another area, for small businesses and other things, and then also from real estate. This is what we'll generate from real estate, from small business, from large tax, from custom. Put everything together and rest basically and say, this is the projected amount. That's one of the reasons why, because they oversee almost all of the other issues. The Ministry of Transport will come out and say, we will be, because transport, issue of government registration, vehicle registration rather, and all of those basic things. Transport Ministry will say, we will generate this amount, right? So we have a lot of other institutions. And then we go to all of these other institutions that are revenue generating entity. And then from there, they will also talk to some of those SOEs. Those SOEs that are not part of the budget. Remember, there are certain SOEs that are not part of the budget, but they contribute to the budget. LPRC is not going to be part of the budget, but they contribute to the budget. The National Port Authority, Freeport, is not part of the budget. They are autonomous, but they also contribute to the budget. So all of those conversations will be held. The Maritime will also contribute. The Maritime contributes significantly to the budget also. NASCOP, Social Security, also contributes. So the Ministry of Finance will now sit with the budget, Deputy Minister of Budget. They will do the analysis of all those things and do a projection. And that's how we project and say this year the government will collect $1 billion, as was stated by the head of LRA and the rest of that. After that process, the same committee will now move to the spending entities. There are institutions that are not revenue generating, but they are spending entities. They will invite them. How much do you think you're going to spend? They will move on, they collect all of those things and condense them and begin now to allot money to institutions. For instance, fire service is a revenue generating institution. For instance, have they created the requisite process for fire service to do those things? For instance, giving out fire extinguishers and other things, registering fire extinguisher in every home should be the matter of issue. Yeah, that we don't implement policy. There are a lot more we generate revenue in our country, Dr. Peabody, if we put our acts together. Because a lot of things, vehicles, every vehicle in the country should carry fire extinguisher as per our law. Every vehicle should carry fire extinguisher. Every home in the Republic of Liberia should have fire extinguisher. Who manage those things? Are we going to champion someone to bring those things and the fire service manage them and the government generate revenue from those things? Now, we don't implement these things in terms of the way we should need to go about. So there are institutions that generate the revenue, institutions that just spend the revenue. So you do those things and allot money to those institutions. Even Post and Telecommunication do as a revenue generating institution, the rest of that. We have many institutions that do generate them. We put everything together. Then the two committees will meet again in a conference discussion, finalize all of those processes and allot money to these individual institutions. There are 101 spending entities in the country, right? So if you allot those money via the consolidated budget, issue, you will plan those things and submit the both things. The two houses after the hearing will come out, and that should be on the basis of the past budget and financial report. Every ministry and agency should give their breakdowns of what they did and how they perform and what they intend to do moving forward. They will do those things that we signed it, they agree, they send to the president. The president will review and then sign as an instrument. And then that is signed by the speaker, the pro tem, the secretary of the Liberian Senate, and the chief clerk of the House of Representatives. It moves to the president. The president signs the instrument. The instrument is a law. They send it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and it's printed into handbill. When it's printed into handbill, meaning no one can do any kind of altercation on the budget. Any attempt to do that will not only be surreptitious, will be a violation of the laws, the budget Article 34 of the Constitution. That will be a serious violation of that. So I don't know how they're coming back to say there's a realignment process against the process of recasting the budget. If it's they agree that we should recast, the two institutions, the government, the legislative branch, and the executive branch will agree that there's a need for us to recast. We underestimate that certain thing. Probably we're going to be having some budget shortfall rather. Can we recast so that we can commensurate the budget in our spending capacity? These are the things that should happen. The inclination of anyone thinking that you will realign in the action of the two houses coming to a conference reconciliation process, it's strange. It's a bizarre process here. I'm still struggling to countenance here.
Well, we want to welcome Robert Garguah Jr. and our queen, Arake Guar. Welcome to the discussion. We've been discussing about this national budget that was altered. Now we are seeing documents coming, as you guys can, I think in the chat room or somewhere you saw on display, where there's a note, handwritten note that is being alleged, written by the president to the VP to act upon it. But now with all these allegations being made, people are concerned. The president had a meeting at his home with the head of the Senate and the House, and people are concerned about that meeting that was held and that where these issues came about. So people are concerned. Now, if you remember, yesterday was a fist fight between a heated argument between Prince Moy and I think McGill. Everybody accusing each other, accusing the person of being corrupt, this one being corrupt, and they had a heated fight. So, but you guys can weigh in. As you guys join Robert, then Grace, then we can move on.
It's great to be on. Hey, Doc, Tomalin, Sylvester, Miss Chris. It's great to be on. The budget, this is not my forte. This is not my area, and so I tend to allow those who understands the budget and the processes to speak on this so that they can enlighten us who might have questions. And so I will speak less on the budget, but what I will say is I will use the words of my good brother and friend George Lobo. Under the CDC-led government, he often said that if you want us to know where your priorities lies, shows the budget. He often said that. I think someone else said that as well. But he made that point to argue that on all of the issues that really matters, the bread and butter issues, on education. When you look at education reform and the kind of reforms that we need to reflect 21st century education, and you look at the Liberian budget on education and that of the Ministry of State, it tells you that we are prioritizing the Ministry of State over education in the entire country. When you look at the budget when it comes to healthcare in our country, just look at the budget on healthcare. It tells you where the government stands when it comes to all of the different issues that we have when it comes to sick care in Liberia and the unnecessary death that occur daily to rich and poor Liberians, fortunate and less fortunate Liberian. When you look at the budget on the fire service, look at the budget on fire services in the entire country. You budget $3 million for fire services. And Sylvester just talked about the fire services being an entity, revenue generator entity. But we're not investing in that entity. $3 million after all of these fire outbursts that has happened, after all of the impact that is made on families, including the current third most powerful government official in the entire country. You're giving that kind of money to fire service in the entire country. We're not just talking about Monrovia. And then look at the city corporations. They're talking about adding $1.5 million. Why are we giving Pingswood City Corporation the same amount as the Monrovia City Corporation when we understand that the capital city requires a lot more work? And this is not to say that the city of Pennsville don't need the funds to do, but a lot more should be invested in the Monrovia City Corporation when it comes to the cleanliness of the city, when it comes to paying those Liberians who work in that area. And so there's a lot that you look at when you look at the budget and say, what is the government priority here? What interests them the most? And what is different? You talk about the major cuts that have been made compared to the last budget and the budget under CDC government. You would have, so it raises this question about rescue. When you look at the budget, what has been rescued yet? Are the Liberian people and the issues that concerns them on a daily basis, the bread and butter issues, the economy, healthcare. You look at energy. How many people have paid for LEC but yet are not getting the services that they've paid for LEC? We talked about all of these different loans and grants that the government have supposedly or allegedly secured in China. If you look at this budget and looked at everything that has happened, what gives you hope that the money will actually be spent where it's needed? And I want to end on this note before Grace come in. The issue over the years has not been the lack of funding in our country, because China has invested over $2.something billion since 2005. The United States have invested billions of dollars. There have been donors that have come from across the world since 2005. But if you look at the tangibles in our country, if you look at them in these key areas, what has changed in the lives of the little man? What has changed in the lives of those Zogos? What has changed in the lives of small businesses? Those mothers on whose backs we are here today, these folks, they're using meager resources to go out there and sell markets for that boys and that girls to go and get the best education. What has changed in the lives of the regular Liberian folks? And so Tomalin, when you look at the budget alteration, you look at all of these entities that are revenue generators. For me, the question is, what is the government priority, and what are they rescuing? You cut the budget of education, you cut the budget of health, but you increase the budget of the Ministry of State. I mean, which is more important? And so this is business as usual. And for some of us, it was anticipated. We did not anticipate change. We did not anticipate anything different. What we anticipated was that these guys were mad that it wasn't them. Look at what's happening at the airport. Government officials are at the airport for hours awaiting the arrival of the president. But guess what? They criticized the city's elect government. In fact, some of them said in our court, these guys are less busy. They barely work because they're lining up only to give the president a handshake on a busy working day. You think people that are busy, people who are doing the people's work, will care to go and shake the president's hand? Most of them doing the people work before 5 p.m. But look what's happening today. The lines have increased. They're double. There's 2 lines. Into the entire cabinet is at the airport handshaking the president upon his arrival. But just yesterday, they were criticizing the CDC-led government and its officials, calling them less busy. Who's less busy now? Are they less busy too? And so we didn't anticipate change. So this is no surprise to some of us. But to the Liberian people, to those folks who are not partisan driven, to those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 50 votes who only care about the fact that they said that George Weah did nothing for them. George Weah did not fight corruption. George Weah did not lead. And they expected something different from a more seasoned politician, a man who ran on the mantra of change and rescue. Look at the budget and tell me what in that budget is rescuing the people, putting the interests of the people first. And so I won't delve into the budget. I'm not a budget kind of guy, but I have no common sense. If you see the reduction in the budget and where the increases has been made, it tells you where their priorities lies.
So to welcome to Chairman Sanvee. Grace, I hear from you.
Thank you. Well, my name is Grace Guar. I'm happy to be here. I would like to say hi to everybody on the panel tonight. And the budget issue is actually frustrating. So even when people talking about it, you can see the passion in them while they're talking about it, because Liberia have had budgets for so many years and the country cannot even see anything, what these people are doing with the money. And then they're altering the budget that they make and putting money in it for themselves. As Peabody said, some of I was reading the thing on closing argument chat room. Everything they put on the budget, the added money is just vague. You know, for the reason why they added the money is just vague. Okay, for hospital, they don't name the hospital. You don't make budget. Even also make budgets for our homes every month. We make sure we put in detail what this money will be used for, so we can be able to live a better life. If you don't budget, I would encourage you to budget, because it helps, with your lifestyle. As we can see now, the Liberian government don't even know how to budget, because everything in it is just crazy. But Robert asked, well, what are they rescuing? They are rescuing themselves, my brother. These people they came to rescue themselves. They did not come here to do anything good for the Liberian people. You like me, I only set budget for my home and things I want to do in my personal life, so I know nothing when it comes to Liberian budget. On the other side, but I would say that the Liberian government, most of the time, even with the Weah government, they are not disciplined people. They are not disciplined at all. They can't control themselves. These people act like children, and they go to the house to meet and discuss the Liberian people issue, and they start to insult one another on the floor. We see these things happening in other countries once in a while, but it's a regular thing with the Liberian government, with the House of Representatives and the Senate. They insult each other back and forth because one group of people want to get away, and the other group of people mad because the other group of people getting away. And you can see that their fight is not about the Liberian people at all. It's only about themselves and the greed for money and power, and what they can get, what more money they can get to enrich themselves and not help the Liberian people. They go there to steal. Today I did a training at work. They called it the fraud training. And it just happened that this can happen. Most of the problems that Liberia have, especially when it comes to the budget with the government, is internal fraud. These people are within the government, and they are using their position to fraud the government and take the money away from the people. So in my training, I heard about this lady who is a true story, that she used the government car. Just imagine, she was assigned a car. She's supposed to go to work and come back and park the car, but she was running late to pick up her child from the daycare. And so she went and used the government car here in the States and went and picked up her child from the daycare. You know what the government did to her? She was sentenced to 5 years in prison and 3 years probation for doing that, because it was internal fraud. Just imagine, just that simple. How in the world these people would tell us that this budget was altered, and they have so many other appropriation applied to it for different things that they want to do, and adding different things, different amount of money to the monies that were already allotted for different areas. How in the world they can tell us that they don't know, they still are fighting to find out who authored this budget? And they're telling the Liberian people, and you want to tell me that Liberians are not yet even in the streets to stand up to these people and demand that they want answers? So it's just a sad thing to see. This is just, it goes on, and it's just a occurring process. Liberia is just a failed nation. And Donald Trump said yesterday that when he was giving his speech, he was giving the debate, he was saying, "Oh, America is a failed nation." I was like, what? Have you heard about Liberia, sir? America is not a failing nation, because they have although they got some problems, but apparently you never heard of the country called Liberia. Their presidents don't even go, the presidential candidate don't even go for debates. They sit in their high places and feel that they are entitled to the Liberian presidency. So they don't owe the people nothing, because the people too themselves feel that the Liberian presidential candidates and the president and the people working in the government don't owe them. In fact, they owe these people. The people are supposed to be serving them, but they feel they're supposed to be serving the people. And that's what Amara Kone said, and I agree with him. He's tired. He is sick and tired of the Liberian people going to his office and begging him for money. That's not why he became senator. He became senator to change their lives. And that's what he's trying to do. So they should stop begging him. If they can get a hint from that, they will get a wake-up call, a news flash, and say, you know what this man saying is right. Instead of us going to beg him for money, we should demand them that they make sure that the environment works for everybody and not only themselves. Thank you.
Chris says something I just want to comment. Chris, nothing going to change for a whole country of 5 million people, for a government, for people who are well educated in that country, to sit there and alter a budget after it had been final draft had been submitted. It's no serious country. I'll be honest. And as I said here, did the president pro tem, were they aware of this? Was the speaker aware of this? Did they meet at Joe Barker's house? Those are questions that need to be answered, but need to be answered to the Liberian people. If that's what I'm saying, if those are questions that need to be answered to the Liberian people, because that should not be a secret at all. And to see Liberians behaving like this, it's nothing wrong. There's some of the money in there. I will support the hospital in Tapeta. They need all the help they can get, because there are a lot of people. But all I'm saying here, why wasn't it done the way? Did you not know that the hospital in Tapeta had been suffering? They hadn't got anything there that was built, that beautiful hospital. and you needed to put money there, renovate it. Why are you coming back now? Those are things that they should have done. But you can't go after all the smart, educated, accountant, business people, economists sit down and put all the act together. They say, oh no, it's not corrupt. I think that is very sad for our country. It needs to be investigated. But I see fraud in that. I see fraud.
Chairman, Wayne.
Well, it's good to see everybody. Robert, I haven't seen you since you got married. It's good to you still look like you suffering from a hangover.
Yes,
but,
sir.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's good to see you, my brother. Pewee, it's good to see you. Tomalin, my Gracie Grace. Well, Liberia. You know. But look, I have a different approach. Y'all know me. I know I come from left field. I think all of this pent up anger and frustration, I put it squarely on the feet of the people. I don't think the people are feeling the pinch enough. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I'm not asking for the people to overthrow the government. I would never do that. I'm a Democrat. Not in the sense of being a part of the Democratic Party, but I'm a Democrat. But the Constitution is very clear. It says all power is inherent in the people. The people have an ability to institute their government, but they also have the power to alter it. Many of our people are not able to read, but they're not stupid. Not being educated don't mean you don't know what is right and what is wrong. There's something called common sense that every single one of us have on this earth. So I'm not going to waste my time attacking politicians or leaders. The people are not ready. You saw what happened in Kenya? The people didn't overthrow the government in Kenya. Yeah, there were people who said Ruto should resign, but I knew the systems were already in place for them to continue as a prosperous democracy. But when the president who became president through a populist movement, William Ruto won that election through a populist movement. In fact, William Ruto's logo for his party, I followed that election very, very closely, was the wheelbarrow. In fact, his slogan was he was a hustler. He called himself a hustler. When the establishment went against him, his own president, he was deputy president, told his president, Uhuru Kenyatta, endorsed the opposition candidate, Raila Odinga. William Ruto mounted an insurgent campaign. He mounted a campaign where he argued that he was going to build an economy from the bottom to the top. He talked about a hustler fund. When William Ruto became president, he initiated the hustler fund. And there's a reason why I'm telling this story. He initiated the hustler fund. He, started doing little things here and there for his base. But then he had to deal with the debt crisis. The debt crisis that he inherited, but guess what? It became his problem. And he decided to put forth a budget, a spending bill, they call it, where they were going to tax diapers, they were going to tax woman tampons, literally anything you can think about that you need to survive as an ordinary person. The government of Kenya was putting an excess tax on it because they had to pay the bills to the IMF and the World Bank and the Chinese and all these loans they had taken. The people stood up. But while they said they were going to put those taxes, guess what? The government was not doing any cut. MPs is what they call them, the legislators in Kenya. They're called MPs. MPs were still receiving their vehicles. They were still receiving their salaries. In fact, they were increasing their budgets. The president was still doing everything he was doing. He was renovating State House. He was doing all these. I mean, it was like business as usual. But the bill was being stuck on the people. Gen Z, Generation Z, is what we have also in Liberia. You have a country that 80% of the population is below 35 years old. That's Generation Z for you. But you know what our Generation Zs are interested in? They're interested in coming on Facebook and abusing people who have a better life, who don't have to even worry about food on their table. They're more interested in jumping the gun and trying to figure out how they can cost their way to some politicians' good grace. That's what our Gen Z are afraid. That's what they get angry about. Our Gen Zs would rather call themselves cyber defense for this politician. That's what our Gen Z worry about. But then guess what? They come in your, they come in your inbox and they come and beg you after they insult you. We're not ready, guys and lady. We're not. Politicians respond to pressure. Nowhere in the world, politicians just jump out and decide that, we'll just do what is right. No, except the system is in place. For countries like ours, third world countries like ours, politicians respond to pressure. And you saw the pressure they mounted on Kenya. You saw the first speech William Ruto gave. He was talking about how he was getting ready to protect his institutions. He was getting ready to put the army in the streets. What did they do? Those young men and women stood up. And in the end, what happened? The finance bill was withdrawn. It didn't stop there. Cuts were made to the budget. The president dissolved his entire freaking cabinet. We're sitting in Liberia. These very people 6 months ago, 7 months ago, were walking in poo-poo water for both candidates. But then we want to sit and act like we don't know what's going on in the country. We are 20 plus years in this dispensation. Every freaking year we have this conversation about budget. President Joseph Boyka ran for president campaigning on Kush. He campaigned, some of his surrogates campaigned that George Weah, Finabondo, and the government were bringing in drugs in the country. I hear today there was an arrest of drugs. How Finabondo didn't stay bringing drugs in the country when Joseph Boyka is now in charge of the country?
Great point.
How? That is why you don't politicize things that are terminal to the survival of your country. But we're not ready in Liberia, guys. So that's why I'm saying I'm not going to criticize the speaker, the pro tem. I'm not going to criticize any one of them. Somebody would say, oh, Ben, you supported George Weah. Oh, yes, I did. Every one of us picked our poison. You gave us 2 candidates in the second round. We had to pick one. I picked my own. I know the reason why I picked mine. You picked yours. But it doesn't mean
some of us too neutral, Papa.
Well, that's fine. That's even good too, because you exercise your right to neutrality. Even in this country, I saw John Bolton the other day saying he will write Dick Cheney's name on the ballot, even though Dick Cheney says he's voting for Kamala Harris, right? But I'm saying this, and I'm going to close on this, is to say I'm not going to criticize politicians on this issue. The national legislature is a reflection of the country. The presidency is a reflection of the country. When Liberians get ready for serious governance, when they get ready for serious leadership, they will stand up. If they're not ready, we will continue to go in this circle. They will continue to beg. They will continue to wish. Another election cycle will come. They will talk about they will talk about rescue. They will find another slogan. But I'm not going to waste my time, my precious time, to talk or to criticize politicians when the very people are the ones who are propping them up. They stand on the side of the road. When they see these people driving the $100,000 and $200,000 cars, they clap for them. Then you tell me I'm going to criticize them? In fact, you know what? All the politicians are my friends. When you're ready, you will stand up and you will demand from your leaders what is justly yours. I rest.
Ben, Peabody, can I interject something quickly? So Ben said something that struck a chord with me about Generation Z. So I know that we blame Generation Z for what? Because our generation too, we are the one that destroying the country right now. And we blame Generation Z, but what did the people learn from us? Now, my thing is that look what happened in Liberia recently. Prophet Key, who sat on Facebook for 6 years, insulted President William Mother and other women of substance, other women that when they step in a place, a wife would be servant to them. I am saying it. He insulted these women on different platforms, causing their underparts. And he went to Liberia, and government officials are meeting him and taking pictures with him and putting it on Facebook. The vice president, he puts that on his Facebook, that the vice president said that he was going to have a meeting with him. So how is it now you expect this young generation, although we still think that they should stand the ground, because that's what the generation here in America are doing. If you don't know, it's Generation Z that even carrying Kamala Harris. They are the one that carrying her. The reason I know is that because my son is in college, my daughter is Generation Z as well. At her office, she was listening to the debate and she was talking to us. We were just laughing like, oh my gosh, she was just a baby the other day when we used to listen to this thing. And she was interacting with us concerning this. They carry Kamala Harris because they know certain things they want to be having the right to their own bodies. That nobody can tell them what to do when they want to do with their own bodies. So they're looking at all of those things. And they don't want division in the country, in the United States. They want everybody to be looked at the same. They don't want racism and all those things. The Generation Z of our country, we have not set any example for them, and our people still setting few example for them. This man insulted women on Facebook. He insulted President Mother. He insulted, everybody you can think about. How in the hell you will get him relevance to go and meet with the vice president of the Republic of Liberia? You think the people not watching these things? You think how the international community will take Liberia and look at us? We already look like nothing. And he's meeting people. I just saw the picture that Lofa. Where is Lofa? Lofa, we miss you. I just saw a picture that Lofa posted that he met somebody else again. So painful. Then he went and met another government official. Women that in the government meeting this man, taking picture with him. Because people like that who never prepare themselves and they're just a 9th grader and 8th grader, they want to compare themselves. So they think by insulting like that. That's what the teaching generation see, that when we insult you people and we cause you with the Benjamins, we'll come and stand with the Benjamins because they know us for insulting people. So that's what the generation Z is falling. And the reason they're falling is because the people who are supposed to set an example, like the government officials of Liberia, they are even taking picture with a man, making a parent to feel that, you know what the man is doing is right. And that's where I'm coming from.
But I have a quick, and Rob, I beg you 30 seconds. I just want to say something quickly to Grace. I have a slight disagreement because you're saying they haven't been taught or giving an example. Fine. But let me say this. First of all, Prophet Key is not Liberia's problem. He can take picture with anybody he wants to take picture with. That's his business. It's not my. It doesn't stop people from eating in Liberia or bad governance and stuff. The reason I said Generation Z, Grace, is because this same Generation Z can organize youth for boycott election. He can organize youth for We Are election or youth for money bar election. Trust me, Grace, they know how to organize. We know how to organize. We know how to do things when we want to do it in Liberia. But the reason why it's not happening is because they too are hoping. It's the same thing the Unity Party people did. My friends from the Unity Party. All of the things they criticize, they're doing it now, and they're even doing it on steroids. The reason they criticize it was because they missed what they had, and they wanted to be in the position that they're in today. So it's almost the same cycle. Everybody won't be representative. Everybody won't be senator, because guess what? Everybody won't go to capital billing to be able to make the same salary, because the country has been shaped and structured in that way. That's the only way the country can function. So when I talk about the fact that I don't think they are ready, it's not because examples have not been set. And it's because examples have not been set. That's what I said, Grace, that people know right from wrong. You don't need a college degree to know that you got opportunities. You don't need a college degree to know that when you go to the hospital, medicines are not in the hospital, but yet and still, your elected officials at all levels, because I think sometimes we tend to just put it on the national legislature. Look at the executive. Look at the judiciary. The entire governance structure in the country is like the whole country, they are working for a small portion of the society, and we're fine with it. What I'm saying is, organize and demand from your government what is your just due. That's all I'm saying.
Let me come in for a second, and I would like to disagree slightly, not with what you said, Grace, but with what you with this. Look, I'm coming to the point where I'm no longer going to be associated with or just blanketly be mixed with those who are destroying the country. So moving forward, when anyone said we are destroying Liberia, please don't include me. Yeah, I don't want to be included, because unless you have proof to show that I've done something to contribute to the destruction of our country, don't include me in the we are. So that's the only disagreement that I have, Grace. When you say
a certain group of people. So
if
I say, if I'm not even including myself, because I know I would.
There you go.
Yeah.
So moving forward, because you see, the thing about example here is, and to Ben, I think Ben hit the call yet, and I agree with everything Ben said, that the Liberian people are not ready. And until the Liberian people are ready for serious change, then you will see the Liberian people act. We're not ready. You talk about you for this person and you for this person. And it brings me back to when Cummings attempted, and we don't give him credit, but when Cummings insisted on a convention, with that collaboration, when he said we need to go to a convention where delegates can vote on the record and we can compete, I think that he understood that we needed some kind of change in our democracy. We keep saying we are a democratic country, and we do have democratic elected elections. But the foundation of our democracy when it comes to our political parties and how leaders are picked, who becomes the standard bearer of a country, of a party, and the entire structure does not reflect democracy. I asked a question many years ago. I said, God bless his heart and may his soul rest in peace. But had Councilor Charles Bromsky not died, who would have challenged Councilor Bromsky within the Liberty Party to a convention, a national convention, to a primary process? Is it a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. Until the current president is satisfied that he has now become president, who would have dared challenge Joseph Boakai to a primary as a partisan of that party? Who would have done that? You have a young man like Dr. Clarence Manuba, and people still say to him, you still got time, wait your turn.
Amen.
See, we talk about democracy. The question here is, have we really acted? And have people who have been close to these different parties stood up to what true democracy actually is? Why are people aligned with a certain political party? What separates the CDC from the Unity Party when it comes to fundamental issues? Be it job creation, be it the size of government. These political parties cannot even commit to what their respective party stands for in the House of Representatives. These different blocks. So we are screwed up. To be quite honest with you, we are screwed. Because the foundation and those who have led the foundation have either not done a good job with the example you talked about, and those who have the voice and the platform are afraid to even stand up. We are not ready. Why is it that people cannot stand up to the status quo? Can you imagine if a guy like Barack Obama would have been in Liberian politics? He would have never ever become president. Ever. Because he was a first one-term senator. He was a not known person in the entire country. Who knew the name Barack Obama? Do you think a non-known person will come from California, who is a Liberian, who is a patriot, and go to Liberia to even attempt to run? The first question is, who are you, my man? Where your turn? Where you coming from? Give your people a chance. We're not ready. It doesn't speak to democracy. It's not about who has the best vision for our country now. It's about the status quo. So when you talk about example and all of these youth for this, youth for Bwaka, the question is, why are they doing it? Are they doing it because Bwaka vision aligns with theirs? Or are they belly driven?
But brother, and before, let me just let you know, they are doing it because you and me that have done nice things for Liberia and have, set an example in our own lifestyle. These people don't see us because Liberian people only celebrate, and our generation only celebrate the bad things. So they will have people on Facebook insulting on a regular basis, and those people are going to be called celebrities. That's the reason why they do it, because they see that we accept these kind of people within ourselves. Although we are not one of them, but you will see a group of people will go watch somebody who is insulting 24/7 than to watch you and myself talking sense. That's the thing.
Let me throw this out there. I will be discussing about the budget that was altered and so forth. But I'll tell you this though. This is what's going to happen. And mark this date, September 11th. What will happen soon? First, let me share with you guys. I talked to a politician last night. This person is already grounded in the Liberian politics. The person is running for president 2029. Ben, you can laugh or you won't laugh. I will say this.
Why laugh?
This person already got it. The person already got it 20 million for the election for 2029 already. Ben, I'm serious about it. I'm not
coming before you continue.
Let me finish, please. I beg you. You be finished.
Go ahead.
The person already got the money already secured. And I told that person, I said, you know something?
Go eat our own money there.
No. The person is grounded. The person is already grounded in Liberian politics. They grounded. The person don't need recognition or to introduce himself. They well knew already. This person is a serious politician. That person say, oh, you can collect money, you have go fund, or no, that's not that. The money already secured. It's a matter of organizing now and getting ready. I can tell you, that person will be a formidable force. Come 2029. What the person? I'm going to person, man. I'm going to put it in, but that person will be a formidable force. Now, this is what's going to happen. I come in. I can tell you this, two things are going to happen in Liberia very soon.
So you're saying that you're supporting the person already?
No. I foresee there will be a major protest in Liberia for the next. I don't know when it will happen. For all that's happening, I foresee that protest coming on first. Be a major protest in the country. Okay, it will happen. It will change the course of situation in Liberia. You notice when cities were in power, when our Jerusalem protests happen, people will say things change, though. So they open up and start to engage with other people in the media, other actors, engage with them. The whole thing changed, and things as you observe, the price of the US dollar rate to Liberian dollar rate started to fall. Things are happening positive in the country because of that protest. Now, and there will be sanctions. Yes, there will be major sanctions that will affect. They will change the course of things in the country. Watch what I'm telling you guys today. There will be sanctions. There will be a major protest. And lastly, the people are waiting for 2026, 27. No, that person was I was talking to the party. Said, "No, Georgie, we already said it's not a matter of saying we will get money. No, the money already secure."
Yeah, but Tomalin, but Tomalin, but Tomalin have money. Alice Cummings have all the money.
You should have Robert. Trust me, though. People with, if you notice, if you start pushing your card right now, you will achieve the results, the desired results. When you wait at 2026, 27, and when you start having problems, because you're waiting for the rally in Philadelphia, have fundraiser in a place to get money. No, that guy think of a joke. So you need a movement that will start, and the people will come on board and will move forward. Because guess what?
Of course they will come on board. They will come on board to eat your money.
All of you guys here, but recruit them.
They will come on board to eat your money.
They can talk all the time. They recruit all y'all. Y'all doing a PR team. Y'all will join our team.
I know that PR man, do you?
Okay.
Let me say this honestly. I know the person.
He listening.
But he said, and let rule out in 2029 that some people already start ruling out and mark this. As that coming out, already confided in his people, some major people, he wouldn't contest. The only way he'll contest will have to raise money for him, and there's nobody in the block going to raise money for him. So he's going to be out of the process. He's not going to spend his money again. He's not going to spend dime into Liberian politics. He's out. He believes sincerely that he's not likable. He's not electable. So I think he understands the process.
That's a smart move.
That's one. The person you're talking about there, and I want to surmise, and I don't want to jump the gun to call name, but I want to surmise that person.
Chairman, please call the name Sylvester.
I want to. No, I don't. He didn't give me. No, I don't want to say anything about. I don't want to respect his thought process about the way he went about it, right? But that person may even be sanctioned before the elections.
No, I wasn't that.
Some of them were on here. They said,
I wasn't here sanction.
That person may even be sanctioned before.
I wasn't here sanction.
Let me say something to you. There's a growing concern about what's going to happen in 2029, and we all will be conflicted about it, right? Ben will not inclined to accept your point because he got his own side. Heavily. Right? Yeah, that's why he was not inclined to accept what you try to say. Ben himself got his side seriously. They have discussions. They have discussions. And Drew the money, the small money we're having, that's why we need the money. So he broke now. But honestly, but I believe we still got some good people in Liberia. And I still believe one of the things, the philosophical saying that Charles would say, he said, we agree that there are many bad, but we still got good people in Liberia, and the good people will win. So what we can do, I agree that the young people, the young people are now spectators. They go in different typicals and serving as they kind of line the news and as an instrument of expressing hate messages across the country, serving as a surrogate for certain people on that land. That's going to be a continuing process in the country. How can we change that? The way that Liberia can change, I believe the only way the country will change is that we have to all work towards the process about electing one leader that will be very hard-headed and that will change the scape of that society. Number one, I can agree when the NPP won the 1997 elections, many people didn't go to say they win the election on the basis of individual running their own campaign. I agree. One will counter my argument by saying there was this proportional representation. So the percentage of the NPP got, they had a lot of people in the House of Representatives. I agree, but there was a semblance of institutionalization in political parties. And until we begin the process of institutionalizing our political institutions, we're not going nowhere. If the political institutions institutionalized,
yes,
that's part of the foundation we were set to move on. Because if you are to do this, then the institution will come and be firm and take this action against you. But everybody are individual soldiers. They will go and corrupt the system now. All of those that won the election in 2005 were people that were working in government, in serious government institutions at the time they were government. They won elections in the house, that won elections. Everybody that had money won elections because what they did, they went with the individual thousands of US dollars and spent
That is stole.
talk people, and now they got elected. Those that were broke, they didn't get elected. So it would change the mindset and make it more competitive and change that system from the country, right? Warlords that have money because it was the NPRA government. As per the comprehensive Accra Peace Agreement, those that have positions, that had to spread positions. People went to FPRC, Freeport, strategic government institutions, they spread the money around. All of those that did that, they won elections. Those that were the intellectuals. Imagine people like Larry Tomalin that believe in philosophical thinking, that say the people should benefit. They say the man talking book. He said, you're not teaching political fund 101 or other things. They didn't elect him.
Where is Larry Togar?
He's still in the country. He's there. I think the president.
He's the head of the Good Governance Commission chairman.
Yeah, yes, right. So all of those people when they didn't get elected, Robert, because number one, Larry Togar, when he go to his rally, the man said the only thing he'll do, he will ask everybody to contribute for him to buy water. The first meeting people went to, the president may not ready yet. The next day, nobody came to his rally. But he was well intentional, right? In terms of seeking the interest of the people. He wanted to go there and do the thing, and he would have done it. There's a man I thought I would knew the headline. People say he's far to the left. No. He said he's not going to get nobody dime to vote for him. He tried 3 elections. He never even came third place. And he's supposed to be one of the major liberal political scientists. This is a man I got PhD, I think, in political philosophy. Right? So he understands the interpretations of the science. But nobody will let him because he can conjugate the verb to eat. You eat, I eat, John Paul eat, and everybody. The conjugation of the verb is very prominent in Liberian politics. Until we can remove that and institutionalize our political parties, then we go to somewhere very serious. That when the president does something that is wrong, we deal with him and get him, also now we expel him or expel a lawmaker, then the country will move. But I think we can still win something can happen, but we're still far from it yet until we begin the process of moving firm into this process. Yeah, there we headed. But again, this is the country we find ourselves. But I think we have to change
Next
it.
topic.
Yeah, have to change it.
Yeah, but these people they want you to pay them for you to change their own lives.
Yeah.
They want people like Larry Togar to go and pay them. And
Yeah.
that lazy people can do that. Like
Hey, it don't work that way, man.
majority of them are a bunch of lazy people. They even exhibiting that same behavior in America.
Yeah.
How you want somebody to come and change that, but you want them to pay you for them to give you a change of life in your society that is polluted with a bunch of thieves and rogues and indiscipline, blood-sucking vampires. Thank you.
Well, what a topic. You know, it never changed. Liberia will be Liberia, corruption. And the reason people continuously still in that country because you have a justice system that is weaker than even the temper justice. I mean, how do they call those people in the interior somewhere there that had that little courthouse and stuff like that? They are very weak. I believe even people in the villages.
The justice of the peace.
Justice of the peace. You have a justice system that is weaker than the justice of the peace.
Yeah.
And I believe even those people in the villages, the little law can hold because when you tell them to do this, it holds. It holds, and you dare not to violate it. You will be the victim of it. But we
I'm not putting our chief in the interior. The recent time the election was just in Lofa, right? When the town chief announced, there was a time I was in a town, the town chief announced that the next day, he said tomorrow, all the young men will be going to brush out the major road going to the other satellite town. Yeah. The next morning, every young man congregated in the town center. They listened to the local government leaders. And if that was the case back home in our governance structure, it would have been good to pay off because the people respect the local government heads, town chief, empowerment chief, and quarter chief. Even quarter chief can be hard. But I mean, it's unfortunate.
It's very, very unfortunate, you know, that. So for that reason, if I'm in a home where anything I can just do it, my dad will not say anything. I can even go take out the money and leave my mom and do anything. Nobody's saying anything. I won't care. I will continue to do it because nobody was there to restrict me. Nobody tell me anything, even though I'm wrong, but still tell me I'm right. And that's the culture that we live in. If you have a justice system that is weak, like weaker than the justice of the peace, you're not going to have anything happen in our country. And that's why people can alter the budget and just think it's fun. They sit down, grown, educated people, smart people that should be representing thousands of people. They sit there and just do things. No
But
code.
the
Uh,
justice
um,
controlled
me-
by the president.
Melvin,
Controlled by the president. There's no
yeah,
independent. Everything's controlled. And people
no,
have to understand. People who sit here, people like us who sit here, and some of you guys are working government. Some of us have not. But it's
Quick
fair to say
question, Ben and Pewee.
it's fair to say that everyone on this platform don't have to worry about what the next meal will come from next month or
You don't
2
work the
months.
immigration?
It's fair to say
Remind you again, Ben.
Sorry, I'm bravo. Come on, I told me.
it's fair to say that each of us can go to Liberia or travel anywhere we travel.
You're talking about the president, Ben. I'm talking about president.
To Liberia, it's
Yeah.
fair to say that we don't need government job to maintain a certain lifestyle. I know I don't. So it's not about us. It's sometimes you get sick and tired of it. Like you're talking for people who don't feel for themselves. Like you can't be. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry, but you are hungry. You have no future. I mean, some of these folks have no. Look at the university, the college graduate. They can't even go in the private sector to get jobs. Some of them are. You don't understand why they even getting a degree. There's no source of motivation, for higher education. So it's not about us. It's not about our children. It's about you and your own lives. So when are you going to get serious about your own life to say, you know what? Everyone is leaving us behind. Everyone is leaving you behind. Some of these guys don't even know when they will even own a bot, at least to say a vehicle. It's not about us. And so when are you going to wake up and say, you know what? This is about me and my future. Some of you guys may never get the opportunity to travel outside that country. Liberia is all you have. And so when are you going to get serious about ensuring that your leaders take you and your viability seriously? I don't get it. It's not about me. God has blessed me and my family. And even with my family in Liberia, it's about you, your own life, taking control of your own life, your children's life. And you're not serious about that? Come on, man.
So, guys, people are asking a question, right? They say we should throw the question out there. What your prediction will happen in Liberia for the next? Just a prediction as people who've been following Liberian politics. In the next 12 months from now, what do you expect to see happen in Liberia?
Listen, with the current temperature, the way things are, I don't see anything happening, anything changing. I think we're going to continue these discourses, right? People are going to be on radio. Look, I keep telling you, Tommy.
Let me interrupt you, Ben. So you're hearing I think Pewee and Peabody. I didn't watch it today.
Mm-hmm.
President China today with a lot of goodies in the bags, and then number two, you're hearing that Ethiopia Airlines start flying direct to Liberia. We're hearing that Elon Musk sent somebody to Liberia today.
Yeah,
they're coming to start something. Someone will start laying in Liberia. So these are things. So what are your expectations in the next?
Those are too many. Those are marginal things.
But
look, Ethiopia Airline going to Liberia. Listen, at one point, Delta were going to Liberia. Air France was going to Liberia. What the other one need? KLM was going to Liberia.
Oh, KLM before the war.
No. Ellen, yes.
Yeah,
no,
man.
Tomalin charge. At one point under Ellen Johnson Salif administration, I think the only major airline that were not going to Liberia were Emirates.
No. The war came in partnership with Air France. So yes.
But they were going to
Monrovia. I flew one. Yes.
They flew.
I flew from Hott.
You all travel to Liberia?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
I flew from Holland to Liberia.
At one point, KLM was in Liberia. Air France, right?
Air France, remember?
I don't know if Ethiopian was ever there. Most of these major European airlines were going to Monrovia and Delta, Atlanta, right? So these things are marginal things.
No, Atlanta At that time, Liberia, when I invest in Liberia heavily right now.
What are you talking about? How do you say that?
They never had the passenger to go, but now they will have passengers though.
Tomalin George.
You want passenger to
Where
Liberia?
the passenger will come from, though? Where they coming
That's
from?
what I'm wondering. Where are they coming from? What are you
America,
talking about?
from Asia, from Australia, from all over the world.
Tomalin, do you believe more Liberians going to Liberia than they were going during the early years?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
Are you kidding me?
Just stop it.
Tomalin, George, the influx of Liberians going to Liberia during early years was the highest since pre-war. First of all, there was a lot of people who have families in this country who were working in Liberia. There was a huge expat movement. You had the UN. You had all of these different NGOs. You had everybody. The country was booming from a standpoint of extra money.
And some people,
was, you know when we took a dip, Ebola was what crushed us. Ebola was what crushed Liberia, what crushed, because we were on a high trajectory, growing the economy. No, it was Ebola, and then we never really recovered from Ebola, right? Then we had the elections, then COVID hit. So what I'm saying to you, you asked me about the next 12 months. Look, I said this the other day. I was speaking to someone who is very close to President Boakai. They asked, I saw them over, you were with me, Tomalin, in Maryland. And I'm not going to call the person because I don't want to put the person out there. But the person asked me a question. He said, what do you think needs to happen? What are your thoughts on what's going on? I said, the president needs to get bold. Joe Boakai needs to become a I don't give a damn president. Meaning, I'm not worried about winning in another election. He needs to start taking bold decisions. He needs to start doing things that are bold. Look, let me give you a prime example. Look at the ruckus that happened over the last 24 hours about people going to the airport, about doing this and all that foolishness. Did you see the airport less populated today?
The people still went.
The people still went, right? Listen, these people, apparently when people become president, it's a bug that bites them. I think Joe Boakai relishes the moment too. He walking on his red carpet.
I don't think there's any bug that can bite you when you become president. But they say the president said bring up what is already.
Well, no, that's why I said now. That's why I said. So maybe that the bug that can bite you. But my point is, he too relishing his moment with his AFL and standing on both sides of the red carpet with the guns, and he's walking, he's shaking people's hand, he's doing things. All I'm saying is, you ask about what will happen in the next 12 months. I don't think anything significant is going to happen. I think at the end of the day, we are going to get by like we always have. We are going to get by. People will complain. Once in a while, you will hear people doing this, people will be making noise. But we're not a people that's in a hurry. We're not in a hurry. Liberians are not in a hurry. Liberians are comfortable. One group comfortable right now because they're in power. The other group agitating because they're not in power. When the other group can't, the table swings. This is between CDC and UP government. But that's a vast majority of the voting population. But that's a vast majority. But Grace, again, that is a vast majority of the voting population. The voting population, not the whole country. The voting population is split between CDC and United Party. All I'm saying to you, Grace, is, and I will end on this 2 minutes. Grace need to I don't think
that's why the guy told the guy will take votes for all of that.
Hey, my man, let me lay my thoughts with your guy who taking votes.
The guy will take votes for that, Ben.
I don't know where he taking votes from.
We're not sitting here allow you to continue to say these two parties are they are the problem with the Liberian society.
Great. Unfortunately,
the Liberian people need to let them go. The same people that made this party, they can decide to change their minds. And the different direction is not, they're not stuck with a party to die there.
Okay, I'm just saying to you,
as we speak, the Liberia Party having a homecoming.
Let me say this, Grace. I share your passion. I share your passion. Let me finish.
So we can talk.
I share your passion. I share your passion. I share your love and your hope. I mean, listen, I empathize with you. I do. I seriously do. I mean, I see the love in your eyes. I see it.
But she
But
ain't
you're
make it.
just not gonna make it. I'm just
I
telling you.
was gonna Ben.
That's the news I got for you.
There is no alternative. I don't make it, Ben.
You're not gonna make it.
Well,
Look,
I will make it.
Grace,
I
there
will
is
make
no
it.
this country needs a radical shift. And that leader that's supposed to bring that radical shift has not stood up yet. Joe Boyka is clearly not that leader. He doesn't have the ability. He doesn't have the bandwidth. He doesn't have the political will. He doesn't have the political muscle. Joe Boyka is going to
look.
He's going to have the. He's going to. Joe Boyka is going to steer this ship, right? He's going to be a captain of this ship that will steer it and it will get to the dock. That's all that's going to happen.
So listen, let me chime a little bit.
No. Raul, let me speak. We gotta shut the Ben down.
Go ahead.
I better come on to that.
Yeah, they will. UP.
I see the love in her eyes, though. I see the love.
I will make it.
it.
The love in my eye, I will make it. There is nothing.
I have to run. I'm leaving the show, man. Maybe I will join you later.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
If I'm not gonna make it, there's a spirit that is within me that will tell me that Grace, this is not going to work. The mere fact that I am pushing, you know what it is for me to come and sit on this platform or then, you know what I have to even do after here? I will go to bed about 2 o'clock this in the morning and get up to go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. This is a sacrifice that I make. And all of you guys on this platform make that sacrifice. For me to be here, there's a willpower in me that pushed me here. And because I know I will make it. So the love in my eye will make it, or else I won't even have the strength. One of my friends told me, and told me, said, Grace, what you doing on that platform? I said, but every time I won't stop, I cannot stop because I know I will make it. Just clear that up. And we'll sit on the same platform here, all will sit on here, some all get gray hair, Ben Gray will be there. I don't know when. Because every year we'll get one screen of gray hair, so we'll add up until 2029. We say, you see, we made it. Until Liberian people can decide that UP and CDC is not the way for Liberia to get removed from poverty. Let me say that. Liberia is a poverty-stricken country. The crisis of poverty is the main crisis that we have. And that's the reason why our people are the way they are, because it's trying to survive. You know how many CDC and UP youth that in my inbox per day begging me for money? Because now the whole election is over. They will say, okay, getting no money again. They want to people like us who they know that we speak the truth, no matter what. We see Liberia first before anything else. So until my spirit man can tell me, because I move by that, until my spirit man can tell me, say, Grace, it is time for you to let go. Although I have nothing to gain in the country gain more for me than me gain for them. But I will still fight because I think it's my boy's right to fight. We will not sit there and allow these people to seize Liberia forever. It's not going to happen. Go ahead, Robert.
So, Tomalin.
Pewee, you want to say something?
Quickly before I leave, Raul, I just want to say something.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Ben, so I don't think KM didn't fly to the same time.
Thank you.
But really the same. I just seen they say after 20 years or more than 20 years of stay out of the country, KLM, Royal Dutch Airline KLM finally resumed flight to Liberia.
Oh, they did. I flew with KLM to Liberia many times.
I flew with them too from Netherlands, from Holland.
But they're really saying, but yeah, I think they're about to resume flight. I think that's
maybe.
No, not KLM, not Ethiopian Airline though. Not
Ethiopian Airline, come on now.
The Ethiopian Airline, not KLM.
This is KLM, Dutch KLM resuming flight to Monrovia.
When?
I think they're long. I think it should be sometime beginning October, right? That's what it's saying here. But we're looking from it yet.
Where did you get that news from though?
It's from a very reliable Liberian journalist.
But listen,
very reliable Liberian journalist that we all can see.
I mean, trust me, I'm happy for that though, because
yeah,
we have action.
But they can't let it fly.
The president will drop. Because
it will definitely drop.
1,800, 13, I mean, 2,000 jet go Liberia, so it will drop.
And Ethiopian Air, instead of now stopping in Lomé, Togo, and then Ascat convey you, I think Ethiopian Air will be doing direct also from there. Because we normally fly from New York or DC. You know, my last time I flew from
Newark.
Yeah, from Newark to
but they still say the DC and Newark.
Yeah.
Flying to
But
DC, yeah, it's 9 hours direct flight when you come in, when you go in, but when you're coming back, it's like 10 hours, 15 minutes.
Yeah,
So
you come
but
the same
and
I
day.
you arrive the same day, so it's good.
but listen, Sylvester,
But
I
my point here is,
I
do they have the business for that? Do they have
I don't think they have the
passengers?
business for it. And I
All
personally
the
would
all
not.
the investment coming in Liberia, taking
I
business. All
no,
the
I don't think so.
from China.
I don't think so because I do believe that there are more Liberians who could possibly be returning home. That
Mhm.
people are building homes in Liberia.
Now you talking.
People have have invested more since 2005. Now from the diaspora, not just the U.S. And so people will be returning home. But I'm still I don't know if these airlines will survive.
No, no, we'll survive. We're not be a
And
daily flight, bro.
you know why I think they won't survive?
Dude,
You know why I think they won't survive? You know why? You know why I think they won't survive? I
Yeah.
don't think they will survive because they're going to run into the same issue Delta ran into
But why do
outside.
you think Brussels is surviving? Why have Brussels
You know
surviving?
why? Exactly. Great point. I was going to mention that.
Yes.
I believe the reason why Brussels has survived is because Brussels have been consistent. I have flown from Brussels to Liberia with little or no passenger in the plane.
But it's
They
not going
flew.
on now. Considering for the
But
past 10 years, they've been having black flights.
Yes.
I'm always flying with them. They feed us and I said, passenger can leave over. Passenger got
Yes.
5 days. They fly into the Monrovia now.
right.
Every day, 5 days in the week.
Because they've been rewarded for that consistency, right?
Okay. I
They've
anyway, I
been
agree.
rewarded for that consistency because there was a time where they were consistent with all of the different airlines and from these
Oh,
different
yeah.
routes going. Delta.
Bravo. I can even be dark said Brussels will not stop.
No, they won't. They
No, the
won't.
French military pilot. The guy is not good.
So people trust them. I'm one of those passengers who trust them.
No, I
But
trust them.
here's what Air Ethiopia will run into. Air Ethiopia, service-wise, a lot of Liberians, I don't think would like Air Ethiopia because look, if I'm paying $1,500-$1,600
And they're
to
expensive.
fly
Right.
from New York to Liberia, the service have got to be.
Oh no, the service good.
You
No,
no,
but
man.
I don't know
The
about you,
cabin are
Robert.
not clean. The
it's
cabin
not clean. It's not. It's
Yeah.
not
No,
one.
man, stop it.
Yeah.
That's
Number
not
one,
it.
number
I don't
two.
know. I don't know
Number-
about you guys, but I just flew with them in March.
Maybe
When
maybe
they
the
have
last
service.
plane I flew in was very dirty, man.
The food. The food
Yeah,
is
what-
also another
What
issue.
feed you know? What feed you there, man?
My brother
Oh
food is
no,
good.
the
Look,
food
man,
is
Robert. I don't
not.
know. I don't know,
The
Robert. But
air hostesses are beautiful and nice
Yeah, the
people,
food
man.
is
Oh,
But listen, I will continue. I will continue to trust. Listen, I will continue to
I
trust
was enjoying
Delta.
it, man. Me too,
I will
yeah.
continue to trust Delta from New York to Ghana. I
Wait,
like
wait,
to stay.
wait,
I
in
like
Georgia,
to.
how you say? You
I like
supposed
to stay in
Georgia
Ghana.
is on a
I
base.
like
So
to
you
stay in Ghana for 2-3 days anyway. So I will continue to trust Delta from
know that
New York to Ghana, and then
Robert,
from Liberia, from Ghana to Liberia, I will do Air Peace or Kenya Airways and fly back to.
Robert,
But to your
Robert,
question,
Ethiopian Airline business class was just one of the best I've ever flown, man.
Yes.
One of the
I
best
heard about
ever.
the business class being. I will try one day,
Beautiful.
but
Ethiopian Airline business class was beautiful. Very beautiful.
but I don't think much will change, Tomalin. I don't think much will change in the next 12 months because I have not seen any policy that is being pulled forth from the government or from any serious entity in the country to really move the needle when it comes to the improvement of the people's life.
Yeah.
And so whether Air Ethiopia resume or not, I mean, a lot of diaspora Liberians will benefit if the competition of prices fluctuates and it gets better. Liberia will benefit. But the economy in our country, we need to see some economic policies from the government that will directly impact the lives of the regular people. Until the people, the so-called Zogos, the less fortunate, the small businesses, the folks who are not well connected in our country, until they are able to send their children to school without calling folks abroad for school fees, until they're able to feed themselves, until they're able to say, you know what, we can build for ourselves a decent home. They may not be making much. Until they can see and save for the future, that country, the growth, and anything dramatically changing in that country is not foreseeable. So any serious government have got to understand that. And when we talk about us. It's not about boasting. People are very myopic. Don't be so myopic. It's not about us. The reality is, the truth is, if Liberia improves, it creates for us an opportunity to return with business opportunities in Liberia instead of in Ghana or in a nearby country. We want to return and make an impact and contribute to the private sector. Not every one of us want to work in government. We want to return. So it's not about boasting. But the truth of the matter is, I don't need Liberia to do good for me to do good. That's the reality. I don't need that. Tomalin don't need that. Grace don't need that. Dr. Peabody don't need that. Do we want to see an improved Liberia where we can all return and work in the private sector, where college graduates can go out there and find jobs, right, without going to government or trying to work in government? We want to see that. That's what we want. But the reality is, if the people whose lives needs to be changed don't understand that our voices, our advocacy, what we talk about on the radio, it's not about us and our own children, until they understand that it's more about them and less about us, then things will not change. That's the reality. We want your lives to change. We want you to understand that you have a part to play. Do you know, if you look at Ghana, I always use Ghana as a reference. Young people are working. Young people have their own little vehicles. They're using, they have taxis they're using for themselves. They're earning income for themselves. The private sector may not be 100%, but it's working for them. We want the same for our country. And this is what these debates and discourse are about. It's about your lives. It's about you. It's not about us. And so when we say these things, don't look at it as, oh, this person always boasting about this. This person always boasting. Without the opportunities that were given to us, God first, we would not be in the position that we are right now. Unfortunately, our government don't understand that. Unfortunately, people who are in a position of power, most of them don't understand that. So the Liberian people need the same opportunity we were given. And it doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to be in America. Why you think people come here? Why you think people's lives change when they come here in the first 1 month, 2, 3 months, the first year and a half? Well, I've seen people's lives change for the better. You know why? One word: opportunity. They've been given opportunity. The environment that they're in enables them to for their lives to change, to do something for themselves. We can do that in Liberia. And until our government start to put in place the mechanism to really get that change, nothing traumatic will change. All of these companies will come. These companies are coming. Do we have the human capacity in Liberia to even work some of these jobs? No, we don't. So we have to lay the foundation so that our people can once and for all feel the benefit themselves. Until we do that, nothing will change. Only us will benefit.
But let me urge all of you guys: if we want to change Liberia, we cannot sit on the fence. Let me tell you guys. So now we've been talking for years. We talked 2005, we talked 2011, we talked 2017, 2023, and we say we still not satisfied. So now, if a movement come together, you guys should not sit down and say, "Oh, you should not criticize it." I just told you guys tonight that someone already have the money for the election 2029. It's a serious, I'm telling you. The person would need Robert, Grace, Peabody, Ben, Pewee, all of you guys to come on board. And so that you come on board. That's something. You come in to bring your ideas and help with the agenda. You come in the council, well, look for money. No, money is not an issue. I'm telling you, money is not an issue. The issue is we want people who are committed and will come and join them.
The thing is, I understand what you're saying, but they have to have the right agenda. So because some of us, you'll be part of.
I want to help chart the agenda.
Of course, that's
so it won't be like you say no. So have a say. But if we sit down tomorrow and say we'll be sitting on that prayer on the day, Liberia go nowhere. No, we're not going to come to nowhere. But if you join the movement and have a say, things will change.
And then,
but Tomalin, to Grace's point,
have love for the country, you will know it when you start to work with them.
Yeah,
Because I don't just
But
join people.
Ben already not dismiss it.
I
But
don't just join people.
Tomalin, don't worry about
What is
Ben.
that?
Don't worry about Ben.
Yeah, my first focus is Liberia. So
Yes.
it just depends on what you bring into the table for the country to succeed. That's the reason why I joined. When I in 20 the last election, when I joined Dr. Moniba's team, I did not join it because of himself, because I don't support. I joined it because of what was within him. So it's not about the individual, because I can look at you, you can have the presidential look, you can have the
your call on Moniba, call on Gongloe, all
but Tomalin, listen though, but I disagree with Grace a little bit too. I think this is part of the problem. I think that a lot of our political parties, the reason why we're not institutionalized is because these parties are dependent on individuals. I do not want to be a part of a political institution because I like Ben Sanvee.
It's true.
I want to be a part of an institution based on the institution's core values. But listen, if Dr. Moniba left the party today, do you remain with the party?
Well, she not member of the party.
Let me explain something.
But exactly, so she's not. She's supposed an individual. I want a system where I want a system like the Democrat and the Republican. The Democrat. Look, Barack Obama came and left. Okay, all of the different candidates have come and gone. The party remains, and these people have been part of this institution. I understand that I cannot be a Republican. I understand that I cannot be a Republican, or I don't have to dislike Trump. Some of what the Republican stands for, I agree. But most of what they stand for, I don't agree. It don't align with me and my core values. We need political institutions, and we want to be part of political institutions where all of us can be a part based on our shared core values, and we're given the opportunity, regardless of the size of our bank account, to make our argument, to say, you know what, let's go to a primary. Just because Ben in Liberia, Ben is a household name, Ben has been part of the party, Ben does not have any more right than I do to compete for that party primary or that party nomination. We have to change that. But if Dr. Clarence Moniba had left the party right now, because you're not a member of the party, you support Clarence Moniba, then you leave to find the next person.
No. I don't want you to put it out there that way. This is what happened. So I'm not a politician. If you follow me on Facebook, you know me. Some of you heard about me. I'm an advocate for women's rights and against domestic violence and also human rights. Now, for me to get my agenda across, I saw a man like Dr. Moniba after I look at everybody else, because I even went to the communist town hall meeting online, and he couldn't even answer some of the questions that we had. So when I read Dr. Moniba's agenda, I said, but this guy, something about him. Now, I did not join his party because we all came into this 14 late. Dr. Moniba declared his presidency very late. So when I saw him, I said, this is the guy that came from a different direction, so I would join into this. I did not join a party. Dr. Moniba has a movement called the New Liberia Movement.
But it's a registered political party.
No, it's not a registered political party. It's a registered political. It's the New Liberia Movement where all of your party then stole when you couldn't have your.
So he ran. So how did he run? How did he register?
Give me chance.
No, you say it's not a party.
Yeah, but let her talk. I think he ran online, but he has a political action committee.
But he has a movement. That's the movement I was a part of. That if Dr. Moniba leads that movement today, the movement still goes on. So if anybody come and say they're running and they want that movement to support them, the movement is an institution, not an institution, but it's a movement all by itself that Dr. Moniba can lead today that movement and still carry on. So that's the movement. I was a part of a New Liberia movement. After the movement came up, was so powerful until all your people who came on rescue or to fix or they started stealing a New Liberia, we brought that movement into being. If you don't know, and we fought hard for it, we're not paid.
The party remains supreme.
Money, we came on the hard sweat because we wanted Liberia to change. And
yeah,
that's what you need to
but
I want to say,
Ben, just 1 second. You said he ran online, but he has a movement. Again, this is the reason why we don't have true institutions. Listen here, man. Either he was a part of an institution, political institution he ran on, or he ran as an independent.
No, the man had a party. He ran on in his party, but the movement was pushing him because they believe in him.
Yeah,
You
but
can say,
that
okay,
that's a
government
different
got nothing
thing.
wrong
The
with
Let
end
me
of the
let me
day,
let
you
me let
ran
me interject.
under a political institution.
No, but
Yeah,
Robert,
he
let me
can do that.
interject. I don't see nothing wrong with
I don't
what
have to be in a party.
I don't see nothing wrong with what Moniba did, right? There's nothing wrong with that. You can have there are people who support you who may not necessarily want to join your political party. Moniba lineage with Linu has to do with the fact that it's a legacy thing. It's his father's party. His father started that party, so he went and inherited the party. I think the political leader then was Nathaniel Blama, who resigned and turned over, and Moniba got elected as standard bearer of the party. But there's nothing wrong with having these movements. In fact, I'm a strong proponent of movements. I think it's important for us to have movements to kind of hold political institutions accountable, to kind of, to offset it with some kind of shock, right? I do know,
So
right?
what
Oh, please,
movement
wait, let me finish. Don't
what
interrupt.
movement when you
Do not
at the conference
interrupt me.
there? What
Why?
movement at the conference we went to that day in Virginia? What
But there was
movement?
no movement. I was not political at that time.
But what made that
But there was no movement that the money by
No, they made attack the government at the time.
You talking about me?
Yeah, when you attack the
No,
government,
I was a student. A citizen.
you attack the government, man, you and I get you're plenty.
Yeah, but no, you see, that's what I'm saying. We were
That
individual
movement.
students. We were individual students representing our school. I had nothing to do with politics in that time. It was from that conference that launched me into politics. But this is what I'm trying to say. Look, I can tell you this, and this is as far as I will go. I'm not going to say a lot, right? There are conversations going on. And the reason these conversations are happening
a lot
is to find the right niche. Look, we have tried, except we're a bunch of insane people in Liberia, right? Except we're a bunch of insane people.
Got money already, so it wasn't your time.
But we have to be cognizant. We have to be cognizant of the reality that we are faced with, right? We have to understand that we can come with all of these movements, all of these different things. If we don't find a way to be able to tap into the grassroots mindset or the grassroots base of the country political psyche, you are wasting your time. So I think these conversations are going to happen well within the next year or so.
I don't think it's a waste of time. I don't think it's the reason
but
why
let me finish.
Dr. Moniba, when he came in, he was the last candidate coming in.
Yeah, but Grace.
He declared on my birthday, January 17th, that
Grace.
he declared the presidency. You know the kind of impact that Moniba made to before we reached to the voting day?
But Grace, the reality here.
Pressing him down, they're putting make it.
But Grace, the reality here is did not reflect in the votes. In the end, when you go to election, Grace, stop it, man. Grace, stop it.
Stop it, man, Ben.
Grace, okay, so did they steal? Are you saying they stole Moniba votes? Is that what you're saying?
Even the place that Moniba voted in, they never counted his vote. They said,
okay, let me ask you a question, Grace. Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a firm question here. How much do you think Moniba really got in the election that they took from him?
Look, I can't say.
Just estimate.
No, let me answer your question. I cannot sit here to tell you because I wasn't in Liberia to see exactly. But I will not even estimate. But I know personally, the force that Moniba came with, the percentage they gave him was a lie. Let's just be clear. The election was rigged by CDC from the first time.
And then CDC, and then
by CDC. The second round, CDC wanted to wreck it, and the international community did not get any chance to do it. And you like to be in denial.
Wow.
Yes, Chris,
this is
from the first round. I don't like I never voted for him, but let's just be fair. CDC thought they were going to do it. They could not do it when they carried the $1 million.
Grace, let me tell you something. Let me get you. Grace, I won't get you one small.
You're laughing because I've seen that you people don't know.
Grace, I won't get you one small. Let me get you one small info here. When ruling government, let me get you one small info. Grace, when ruling governments want to rig election, they don't rig election and leave by 5,000 votes. That's not how they rig election. When you see Sierra Leone, you see the U.S. government accused Marabio of stealing the election, right?
Yeah.
He stole it on the first ballot. He took it on the first, according to the
my
US
thing is
government.
that George Weah could not do it. He didn't
But
have
that's
to.
what I'm
He
saying
didn't
to you,
have the
Grace.
guts.
Grace. But
He
Grace,
was trying to
listen.
break it.
Yeah,
Not
well,
like
Grace, you gotta
I
give
will
other
not
people
agree.
chance, let them speak.
I said me and you were not.
Oh, you gotta give other people chance, let them speak. You don't have to agree with me. And I listen to
you.
you.
Finish talking.
But
You're
Grace,
not talking and stay too long.
But Grace, I listen to you. You said that
election.
CDC talk, you said CDC rigged the election in the first round.
No, we haven't the election.
And they were trying to rig the election in the second round. The international community didn't agree. I'm trying to say to you, that analogy doesn't hold water because it don't hold water
They were trying
because
to fake it to either the election was close so they can say all day because everybody in the entire world knew that Baka was going to win the election. So
are you who in the entire world knew Baka was going to win? But who in the entire world knew Baka was going to win? You knew?
Everybody.
Did you know that?
After the first count, everybody knew they were trying to cheat and
Grace, even Joe Baka did not know he was winning the election. Trust me.
When I speak here, I like to be fair.
No, but great understand me, right? No, but let me say something though. Ben, wait.
But let Ben finish now. So we get let Ben land.
I beg you 1 minute, 1 second, right? Let me say something quickly.
Let me just put my phone.
Let me say something quickly. That they to show you what he's saying is not true. They did that person we are considered. In fact, Ben was there, right? When Eugene called the vice president first, he didn't get him. They asked the vice president at the time about how to call Baka. When she called him, and she said, President Weah's about to call you. As soon as she called him, as soon as we are calling him, Baka was not even aware. Baka said, when he was shocked, when we are talking, he said, I called to congratulate you. And he said, oh, tell that.
Why Baka was shocked? Tomalin, why? You like I said, you
was shocked.
You in a conference where I don't care. Why I'm telling you why Baka was shocked? Because Baka then knew that we are not going to give this up easily. And I respect we are for what he did. Regardless of people that been there around him telling him not to get a thing up.
Hey, no.
We are still students and say, you know what? If I get I will have a legacy today. I will make sure that I will not keep this man will take the presidency. Yeah, that's the truth. That is the truth.
Okay, Ben,
let me tell you something. Grace, let me say something to you. You see? You know why I'm laughing?
But
Grace, let me tell you, you know why I'm laughing? Grace, you know why I'm laughing? Because if you just even know some of the conversations and some of the things that happened during that election, you will not even be saying the things you say here. But anyway, that's beside the point. I've been in this thing too long enough to. People are entitled to their opinions.
You were born there, my brother. You like it, you be born there.
People are entitled. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I respect your opinion. All I'm trying to say to you is this: I don't believe any movement is going to survive politically in Liberia if you're not in tune with the grassroots movements. If you're not in tune with what is happening in the community.
What is your definition of the grassroots movement? No,
Grace.
Answer my question. What is your
definition? Grace, let me finish. You see how calm I am?
Give me the definition of a grassroots movement, because what we had was a grassroots.
Which movement was a grassroots movement?
County.
The New Liberia movement?
Everywhere. So what is the definition?
The New Liberia movement was a grassroots movement?
Of course, it was.
Grace, how many representatives did you win? Did they rig that election too?
Look, Ben,
how many senators did you produce?
Nothing in Liberia when it comes to election is fair.
Oh my God! Okay, but then Grace, then why you even want to participate?
It's a wreck.
But then why do you even want to participate? Why do you want to participate?
Because we still have faith that we can change that mess. No one group of people will hijack our.
Grace, I ask you a simple question.
You got 10 more minutes to go. Can we just wrap it up?
Okay, so
I asked you a simple question. You talk about grassroots movement. I said the definition of a grassroots movement is being in tune with the communities. You say your movement was a grassroots movement, yet you have no representation at the legislature. None.
Because
none whatsoever. Forget the presidency. Forget the presidency, right?
People attract people from one place to another.
But Grace, then you know what? Then you will come by here 6 years from now and be doing the thing complete. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You have to the mindset of dealing with this thing.
Yeah, we all got plans, and you having meetings. All of us having meetings. We are all having meetings.
All right, I get it.
We are all having meetings. We're having meetings.
Okay,
so I'm not gonna sit on the sideline.
So let me.
For one group of people to just take the country and steal for their generation to come and still they remain poor. They still remain poor. They still can compare themselves with someone who don't even steal. So we will not sit down and allow it to happen. My dear,
So while everyone is having meetings, let me say this. These conversations Ben alluded to, conversations being held. This is nothing new, Ben. Every election circle, there've always been conversations surrounding a collaboration geared towards removing the incumbent. We've seen political parties.
Point of correction, my conversation is not around removing incumbent. Just so you
No.
know.
Well,
but Grace didn't give me the chance to land my thoughts. But it
that
has nothing to do.
one not in the past.
No, I just want to lay the premise for you, right? 2 seconds. The conversations I'm talking about have nothing to do with the presidency. None whatsoever. None, at least not at this moment. So I just want to lay that. That's why I tell you, say it's a different conversation.
But
it's not a CPP conversation. It's not a Ganta declaration conversation. No, it's not. I just am not. I'm not at liberty to even give a hint as to what it's about. That's as far I can go.
Okay, so quickly, so Dark can come in, because we're gonna listen to you guys. But
2 more minutes, we gotta go, guys.
Yeah, but all these conversations. I
will never adjust to corruption.
Wait now, my people.
No, sorry. I will never adjust to corruption and stealing. Somebody said, she need to adjust. I will not adjust to your politics that is corruption and stealing. I will not adjust to it because I came from a home that my parents did not have.
Grace, you dishing up. Oh yeah, you can't take it. Let the people write what they want to write, Grace.
Okay, wait now.
You dishing it up on the show every single day.
Tomalin, Ben and Grace got to be some of the 2 boys. I think over the show.
Everybody got it now.
In fact, I should have been gone a long time.
So let me say this. Listen, there's all of these conversations, and to Ben's point, it's not about politics, but at least he said not at this moment.
Not at this moment. Yeah. It's about politics. It's about politics.
Exactly. So the fact that it's about politics, come 2028. Or whatever, it could transition into the presidency. The bottom line here is, I think we've got to move past these conversations, right? We've got to move past these conversations and really go to where the issue is. The issue here is, Tomalin talk about, 20 million secure, we need to come on board. We need a political system of political institutions where people can come and join that institution based on their own core values. It don't have to be 20 political parties, 30 political parties. Get few institutions. Let's talk about why these institutions are about. Let Liberians join these institutions. Doesn't matter if the candidate is from Basso. Don't matter if you're from Lofa, if you're Muslim, if you're Mandingo. Don't matter, none of these things. But we come together because we all share something with these political institutions where each of us have a role to play. This is the only way we can have a system where political institutions and political participants are able to make the argument, make their respective cases about why they think their vision is the best for Liberia, and Liberians can start to listen and talk about the issues. Until then, you will continue to have these youth for Buaka, you for Jowia, all of these different these different things. It's all about ballot driven. It's all about money. They youth for Buaka, they also want to be part of the budget for that campaign. Oh, how much you giving us? Without, if you're not giving us no money, we can't do this. It's all ballot driven. Until we move past that and institutionalize this political party, where the issues are more important, the shared core values are more important, we will continue to be having conversations each political circle, and nothing will change. That's all I have to say.
Thank
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Sylvester. We got to our closing now.
Yeah, quickly. But one thing I believe sincerely is that our democratic system in terms of West Africa, and I spoke with a lot of different African politicians, and they basically give a lot of credit to our electoral process. We have one of the credible electoral process in West Africa and Africa. The fact that, we have one of these on the record. The EU said this before. The EU was ever said that we have one of the credible electoral process. We go to elections the same day there's this issue of representation. The only way that will cheat you in Liberia is you don't have representation available. Every political institution or independent candidate will be represented immediately after the count. You do the reconciliation, or other thing, and the count process is done.
That is not
Every
where the
representation
cheating starts,
process.
It
is difficult to cheat in the Liberia electoral process.
That is a lie.
And that's one of the reasons why Amara and the rest of the folks were able to collect and collect the process. Collect. No, on a serious note, and help Boaka, because Boaka and the team was something up. You need to have a process. You can collect all of your information across the different polling centers in the country and put it together. The results from there is credible.
Where do people living at, my people? Where
the
are you people
results
living?
from there is very credible. So we have one of the major credible electoral systems in the country. Now, I'm not going to be saying this, and I'm saying it in isolations. We see major partners come and give credit to our electoral process. I participated in the 2005 elections, making my debut into politics. I went into 2011 elections, 2017 elections, and 2023 elections. These were elections that were well carried out and maintained. Now, there will be some petite malfeasance.
So let me ask you, when y'all say we are...
well, great, let a man land.
Wait. When y'all say Ellie Johnson said he cheated, we are in 2015. So it was credible?
I will never, listen, you ask the question, listen. I one person that vehemently challenged that statement that Ellen cheated. Ellen never cheated.
But Grace, do you think Ellen cheated? We are?
Ellen never cheated. It was just
I can't joke.
No, but do you think Ellen cheated? We are, Grace?
I thought that particular election
2005 season was cheated.
rigged as well.
No, it was never rigged.
It was rigged.
It was never rigged for me, and that's my personal feeling. It was never rigged.
I thought that way.
Yeah, it was never. But there's the process, right? Not only be something else, but to win elections in Liberia, it's not about just coming on the platform here and talk. You have to go in the trenches. You have to be part of the system, and that's the reason why you see it was different for Charles Bronstein. Comey is out. Let Comey or not give Comey the next $10 million or 20, 25, $10 million in 2029. They will beat him. They will decimate him. They will be in the evening drum, right? Oh. If you were to, on a serious note, to win elections, and that's why last time I said Clarence is a smart young man. He came with a vision. He tried to tap, he went to Lofa, he wanted to tap into his father's legacy. They beat him that massively. Why do you think they beat him that massively in his own father's base? Because there's things.
Grace, you think Clarence lost in Lofa?
They beat him.
Let me tell you. I was not on the ground.
Grace, you see, then you're speaking on both sides of your mouth. No, but you're speaking on both sides of your mouth, Grace. Because if you were not on the ground to answer these questions, how do you know that the elections were rigged?
Yeah, I know the election was rigged. I follow it with everything.
No,
you didn't follow in regards to the questions that I'm asking. You didn't follow that one.
No, ask me the question.
I ask you to approximate. First of all, I say approximate how many numbers you think Moneyba got that they took from him. You say, oh, you were not on the ground, but you know they cheated. How do you compromise the two?
Because the reason why I said that Moneyba was one of the candidates that did a real or campaign in the entire history of Liberia. He wasn't talking about it. There's went to 200 and I think 8 villages.
Grace, I won't get you one. Let me get you one clip. Let me get you one example. Let me get you one example. Let me get you one example, Grace. Grace, I won't get you one example.
We're not doing. Let me explain. You ask me a question. Give me a chance to explain tonight. Yeah, you ask me a question. Give me a chance.
No, but Grace, the thing you asked me, I already know you.
Give me a chance to explain. There are people that Moneyba did in his campaign. But in the 1847, you never saw a candidate campaign like that.
No, that's not true. That's not true, Grace.
But the money he spent.
But Grace, that's not true.
He didn't even spend money.
Grace, that is not true. The hardest working politician in Liberia for the last 6 years was Cummings. Moneyba didn't even do 10% of what Cummings did.
That's a lot.
Not 10%, 5%. 5. Ben, don't say 10%, 5. You didn't do 5%.
Cummings never did that. You were doing
Grace, Cummings started running for president since 2017. Since 2017,
Grace, local
Cummings
team
running
for
for
Cummings
president.
in 2017. Team for Cummings. Local
Yes.
team for Cummings.
Since 2017, Cummings were running for president. What are you talking?
Even
Cummings
2029,
every
Bonga will try.
corner of that
Bonga will try
country.
to go nowhere. They will be again. You will try, but you're not going
The
nowhere.
only thing I want to say to you, Grace, when you talk about people campaigning, let me give you an example. I campaign more than George we are in Monserrato County. You saw how much money, you saw how many votes George we got when we ran for the Senate? Does it mean that George we cheated me?
No.
No, George, we never cheated you at that time.
Okay, so
wait. Why you say that? No,
why you say that?
Why you say that?
Why you say that?
Right, we out of time.
Just 1 minute, please. Great, why you say that?
We're starting a whole new conversation. Y'all gotta go.
They're cheating about like broad politics and the election. It's not about waiting the panel on the Sunday. It's about tracking people and paying them.
So why you don't think Joe we are cheated, Ben?
Taking people from another country to vote in that country where they're not registered in that country and allowing it to happen because you in power. That's the cheating we're talking
Chris,
about.
that's not cheating. Trucking is not cheating.
Can you go to? Can you
you see, Grace, you're using the wrong. That's what I'm saying. You're using the wrong word. Trucking is not cheating. Trucking in this. You know what? You know trucking. You know, like in America. You know what is considered trucking in America? Redistricting. Redistricting is considered trucking.
Excuse me. Can you come to a place to vote while you living in North Carolina?
That's what I'm trying to tell you, Grace. Grace, if you would just let other people communicate to you, Grace, trucking is not cheating. It's disenfranchising the people in that community because you know what? The people who go in there to go vote don't live there, so they don't have a stake in it. But that does not mean it's cheating. It's just a redistricting.
So why are you not stealing?
No, Grace. When you said cheating,
Hit it again.
But man, what it means now? Is it for
Grace?
You see somebody doing something is not right. You say, "Oh no, they're not stealing."
No, Grace.
You can come to a place of it when lying in person.
No, Grace. Grace. You know how they got even when they're doing primaries here. You know how Republicans can vote in Democratic primaries. You know how Democrats can vote in Republican primaries. Is that considered cheating? Do you know that there were certain primaries the Republicans were encouraging when Hillary and Bernie Sanders were running? The Republicans were encouraging the Republicans to go vote for Bernie Sanders. Is that considered cheating? No. The system, again, like I said, Grace, so when you make the statement like, oh, the people cheated, I'm not saying Liberia election is perfect.
In all aspects, not only talking about that, they cheated in all aspects. They cheated with
what other aspect? I'm only talking you talk about.
They were ballots. But you're not living you're not in a Liberian society.
Grace,
people were ballots. They were delivering fake ballots.
Grace, when you have that conversation, did that incident was it? Did it reach to the magnitude for it to alter the election? Yes. That's how elections are determined. No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
But the
top two parties got 97% of the votes. Even if they had said we will get 10%, and we take 10% from the top two parties and give it to Moneyback and give it to Cummings, they still will not make it to the second round.
No, not even 10%. 20%. 20%. Get 20%.
Grace, what I'm trying to say to you
is that I was not telling you that Moneyback will have won the
no, I'm only using that example.
That certain people never even the amount of percentage they gave Cummings, that was a lie. So
Grace,
that just be clear here.
All the numbers reflected the actual vote. Those numbers.
You gotta wait. Numbers. It's not right how you defend stuff. You defend the wrong, and I watch you in like, bro, I think that is right.
I'm not defending no wrong. I say I'm defending wrong. I am not defending wrong. I'm providing you clarity.
No. But again, we need to set the record straight so that people back home or will not think that our election, those numbers reflected the actual vote of the people.
So let me ask you the ballot that they fall in a different person that they were.
Grace, there will always be.
There were propaganda. Again, there are propaganda.
Grace, no, but Pewee, there will always be Grace.
Of course.
Grace, to your point, there will always be situation where you will see these things happen during elections. No election is perfect.
But
The fundamental question that will be asked is, are these incidents, do they rise up to the magnitude for it to alter the election? That is what we're talking about.
Is it fair for you to do that in an election where a country
You in the wrong business, because
fair for that to happen in an election?
you in the wrong business, Grace, because there will always be irregularities in election.
Our children dying in the country for mere headache.
There will always be irregularities in election, Grace. There will always be irregularities.
But not the kind of irregularities that happen in Liberia.
Grace, the irregularities, they're not
in the election. That's what happened in Liberia.
The irregularities are right.
The malfeasance, electoral malfeasance has never reached the level to say it will override the actual will of the people. There will be some
Ben,
that will happen.
Ben, why are you defending wrong?
We're not.
How am I defending wrong?
We're not concluding that he's defending wrong. That's what he's doing. He's sitting on the platform here. Look at him. He be sitting there for long. He was
like the coming election in Liberia. There are three major individuals that you think that want to be person in Liberia.
But you look good.
Who are the three major people?
Out of the president of the current president of the Republic, the current president of the Republic of Liberia.
Yeah.
So he don't want we can be again.
I'm coming.
Oh, what's wrong with him? Why he get run?
I'm coming. Out of the current
president of I can run.
Listen to Pewee, please.
Out of the current president of Liberia now getting information that he's going to contest, serious information he's going to contest, or the current vice president of Liberia, or the former president of Liberia, George Weah, and the new person that may come. If I want to, I don't know that person too many talking about. Or the new person that is coming, and that person is a major government. The Jack Kim, he was with the international community. He came in his.
Why you call the person in? You're not going to call the person in.
I already told you guys.
You're not wasting our time. You can call the person in.
The money is not an issue for us.
So Tomalin, you already on board?
No, I'm on board. I mistake. I misspoke. The money is not an issue for the. Already got that money set.
I will call you and call the person in. So you hold the person in for now.
Let's not call me and tell me the person in.
That guy like.
Grace, are you Grace? Grace, if Moneybar runs,
they have
Grace, if Moneybar runs.
Nobody who don't have a good plan for Liberia.
Grace, if Moneybar runs in 2029, are you supporting Moneybar?
But no, what the person told me, the person said the tax me responsibility to recruit Grace. So
Grace, if Moneybar runs, Grace, if Moneybar runs, are you supporting him?
No,
bring him on board. Be on board. Let
me make it clear.
Grace is a free agent now. She will nobody right now.
So you're not supporting Moneybar?
No. I don't. Let me tell you something.
No, I'm asking if he runs in 2029.
My quest for Liberia is not about an individual.
I agree.
I see you.
I'm asking you if he runs in 2029, will you support him?
I don't see any intent he has.
If
his agenda doesn't change, I will be supporting somebody else. My quest for Liberia.
Guys, good night, guys.
We'll have a drink tonight and sleep.
Have a good night, guys.
Jesus Christ.
Grace, you heard her? You ready to do what it's supposed to do?
Yes.
If he runs in 2029, you will not support him? But the question I asked.
When we are running 2029, you will support him?
No, I haven't decided that.
That's why I'm telling you, no, I haven't decided that.
Okay, so I'll ask. I asked you, what are you getting flowers?